Saw somebody on the airplane with her with a MAGA hat, big red hat on. She decided to pen a letter and give it to her. And it said, "Dear Sir in the pretty red hat." I'm sure she really means that. "I wonder if you mean to scare black people, Jews, and immigrants. To us, your hat sanctions our deaths, our murders, our evisceration." I would have made a paper airplane and just beamed it at her. I mean, come on. I would have even taken a red pen and wrote MAGA on the wings before I commissioned it to flight. Trump's rhetoric will be blamed for my a-hole response when it was really just a fed-up conservative who's sick of the overreaction by the left. The same overreaction that leads to a bunch of homely, portly, Michelin men-looking women to strip naked in a photo for a voter outreach campaign ad that's called Grab 'em by the Ballot. More like Grab 'em by the fridge handle.
Take the pain out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's D-I-A, thrive.com.
Adjust your mojo now. Thank you.
The mothership has landed.
Doc Thompson. That guy. Brad Staggs. The mighty MoJo 50.
General Motors announced yesterday they are killing the Volt. It's done. The Volt is done.
Oh, no.
They're also killing the Cruze. But other than that, they're doing fine. They're also getting rid of the Impala. But other than the Cruze and the Volt and the Impala, they're doing great. So no worries.
Other than those three.
Well, and the Cadillac XTS, that's going away as well. So you got the Volt, the Cruze, the Impala, and the Cadillac STS.
But other than that, things are good.
No, they're doing fine.
Good.
The Buick LaCrosse is going to go away, by the way. They're getting rid of that as well.
Okay, so just the Volt,
the Cruze, the Impala, the Cadillac XTS, and then the Buick LaCrosse. But they're swell. So
okay, other than that, they're good.
Oh, this just in. They're also getting rid of the Cadillac CT6.
So things are good. Things are good at GM. Good.
It's like fires in the Pacific Northwest. You got to get rid of that weak underbrush in order to promote growth.
Yes, you do.
So killing off all of those lines of your cars is only going to promote growth.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Makes total sense.
They are blaming the changing tastes of Americans. That Americans are getting rid of passenger cars in favor of crossovers, SUVs, and pickups. Is there anything else to blame for getting rid of all of those cars? Any other reason that comes in? Just any reason where you say, wow, GM, wouldn't have to be getting rid of all those cars.
Quality?
Quality. There you go. Actually, there were several answers. Quality would be one.
Yeah.
Bat crap crazy managers over the years.
Oh, there's that too.
Cronyism.
Yeah.
Getting in bed with the devil, and by that I mean the government.
Yes.
The bailout that shouldn't have happened. Big government rules and regulations. Just a couple answers there that would fit.
Did we not get a say in, I guess technically we did get a say in which cars they got rid of, didn't we?
Yes, that's right.
Yes, we did.
We're not
we had a
them.
say.
It only took us 10 years? 8 to 7 years or so?
Yeah, the bailout was what, 09?
Yeah, somewhere in
there.
So
it's like, that's 9 years. That's almost
10 years.
Yeah.
Say this. See, we all had a say.
Yeah.
That's called capitalism.
Yes.
Free market. We all had a say by going, we ain't buying their stuff because it's too expensive and it doesn't work.
And it doesn't last.
Right. Exactly. I mean, well, or maybe even just the perception, because that's how business is. It's either, in fact, products are good or better, the price or the perception of them.
No, I've owned GM products, and I've owned Toyotas, and I've owned...
you have Fords?
I've never had a Ford. But I can tell you without a doubt, the GM products don't last as long.
That's right. I've had GM products and Hondas and Toyotas and Nissans and Fords. I've had all of those things. And I got to tell you, the so-called foreign cars, as we used to say back in the day, are much better than so-called American cars.
Yes,
it's not even close.
No.
Light years ahead. And they're cheaper.
Yes. Well, are they cheaper? Yeah, I guess.
You do comparables?
Yeah, over the lifetime of the vehicle.
You just look at the price. You're tacking on several $1,000s to a Ford or Chevy car, generally speaking.
How much is a Cadillac these days? A lot.
So they're blaming the changing tastes of Americans as opposed to all of the horrible things that they have done. You're right, Brad. We had a say way back. We weren't purchasing those vehicles, and what happened? Chevy ran into trouble.
Yes.
And when you run into trouble like that, what's supposed to happen is either you get yourself out of trouble, in other words, build a better product or market the hell out of it in a better way, whatever it is to get people to suddenly think your business is worth investing in, either totally by, investing in the company and putting money into it, or individually saying, I'm going to buy your products or services.
Right.
And we had a say, and then the government stepped in and said, no, we're taking away your say. In fact, we're going to use your money to not give you a say in this. We're going to become cronies.
Yes.
We're going to become really totalitarian government at that moment, and we are going to take away your free market say.
But it all worked out.
And use your money.
But it all worked out. That's the beauty of it. It's such a Cinderella story.
All they did was take your money to delay the inevitable, and here we are.
That's like saying that they're failing. I mean, you can't possibly be failing. They're failing.
They're failing. Well, let me back up. They are failing in America.
Yeah. Oh, there's that. But our buddies over in China, they're loving us.
Yeah, here's the thing. 70% of GM automobiles have been made outside of the United States. 70%. Now, here's the reason this is important. The debate when I was a kid, it wasn't even a debate. Sure, you may have gotten a cheaper car, one of those Toyotas. What is that? One of them rice burners? But the argument was it wasn't made in America. So you're hurting the economy. You're hurting... the auto manufacturing is a huge part of the economy back in the day, right? Lots of auto workers, and they made good livings. And they said, you're killing the economy in the U.S. if you buy one of those foreign cars.
No.
And then, then they started making those foreign cars in America.
Yes,
and you're saying, okay, so that's not an issue anymore. But they continue that narrative, Brad. And even in this bailout, all the way up, even though that hadn't been the case for 30 years during the bailouts of the early 2000s under Obama, they still tried to make that argument. No. Remember what Joe Biden wanted the re-election campaign of 2012 to be? Osama bin Laden is dead and GM is alive.
That's right. Yes.
Still treating it like it's 1960 and General Motors is this great American company providing American jobs. Well, it did provide some until you realize that 70% of the automobiles post-bailout, 70% were manufactured outside the United States, meaning your tax dollars went to create jobs outside of the U.S.
Well, that's like saying that only 3 out of every 10 cars were made in this country. That's what you're trying to say.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly it.
Oh.
Yeah, 70%.
Well, not very
so those jobs didn't come to Americans. No. Now, if you're saying, but there's more to it than just jobs. It's about investing in an American company. What is an American company? Listen, if you're Toyota doing business in America, you're paying some taxes here one way or another.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
So what the hell does it matter if you're, quote unquote, incorporated in Michigan, assuming they are? They might be incorporated in Delaware or off somewhere. But so, quote unquote, an American company versus, quote unquote, a Japanese or Korean company. What the hell does it matter in today's world, in today's global economy, unless you're paying taxes exclusively or the majority of it to America? What the hell does it matter? And as I said before, if you're doing business in America, you're paying taxes here somewhere. So what is American versus foreign company in today's world? It comes down to the jobs. And if most of those cars are being built elsewhere, your tax dollars got spent to bail out a company that is manufacturing cars elsewhere and who is selling cars primarily elsewhere.
Are you suggesting that there is corruption between the government and companies like General Motors?
Hold it. I'm not suggesting that.
Oh, good.
I'm outright saying there's corruption and bad ideas and collusion. And most of GM's cars are sold outside of the U.S. now, and a great number of them in China, meaning
that's payback.
That's right. That's how we're going to take down China. No, we're selling you Chevys.
You're going to love this new Impala. I'm telling you.
Well, it took America down, didn't it?
Uh-huh.
So if we could just get them to unionize there, we are in shape, folks.
Announcing the GM Pinto. Just try not to get into a rear end collision. It's bad.
So we were forced. They forced us to pay for a bailout of General Motors.
Yep.
The jobs went elsewhere so they could sell cars elsewhere.
Sounds about right.
Okay.
Think of it as a good stretch while you were grabbing your ankles.
Is that it? Is that how it was?
You get a really good stretch through your back when you grab your ankles.
In 2011, as all of this was rolling out, the then, I think it was the CEO of General Motors, speechified in China to tell them how wonderful it is to be doing business in China. Most Americans didn't pay attention to it because any of us that mentioned this speech that told of what GM was really up to, having just taken our tax dollars, being given our tax dollars from Obama, didn't pay attention because we've got to save General Motors. And I made the argument at the time, you don't understand what you're talking about if you say that. Businesses are supposed to fail. They're supposed to fail if they cannot survive.
Yes.
To prop them up is propping up not just a failure in ideology, but a failure of the system, which promotes more breakdown. If you say, no, I've got this cog that doesn't work in the system. It's right next to a sprocket that works beautifully.
Right.
But the cog is breaking down. It's from Cogswell Cogs, and it keeps breaking down. You're hurting and damaging the entire rest of the system.
Yes.
First of all, it cannot perform at peak output if you had replaced it. And it's going to put extra wear and tear on everything else.
Yes.
It disrupts the entire system. General Motors failures, when people are like, you don't know what it's doing to the economy and the jobs. How about the people that invested prior to the GM and Chrysler bailouts in Ford or Toyota or Hyundai or any of them?
Fools.
Those people put their money in those other companies that did better, that deserved a bigger return on their investment.
Yep.
Because if General Motors and Chrysler gone away, Honda and everybody else would have seen their stock prices rise. They would have sold more automobiles.
Yes.
If you were working for Honda and Toyota, you would have had more hours and better pay. But instead, they redistributed those hours and the pay over to a company that was failing, all under the guise of they were doing something good for the economy. And I guess they were doing something good for the economy, but the economy they were doing good for was China's economy.
Somebody had to do something nice for China.
Here's the speechifying of the then CEO in 2001 in China. I gotta get this out there. Here we go.
China with SAIC and FAW.
SAIC and FAW are organizations that sell cars in China. That's the government organization, FAW and SAIC. Here we are.
We regard our 11 joint ventures as 11 keys to success, not just in China, but globally.
To catch that, they have 11 joint ventures in China.
Our commitment to working in China, with China, for China.
For China.
Well, and the SAIC is a Chinese state-owned automotive design and manufacturing company.
Yeah, those are owned by the state.
Yes.
It's owned by the communist government of China. Meaning they have full say over all of this, that even if you've invested in General Motors or whatever, you really do not have control. The second they want to nationalize something or take over it, they will and can. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Remain strong and focused on the future.
We love baseball.
Focused on the future of China.
Right.
Yeah, that's what he meant.
That's their whole plan there.
By the way, the FAW also state-owned automotive manufacturing company headquartered in Changchun, China. So yeah, they are a GM after its slutty mistress gave it all of our money. It went over back to its other slutty mistress in China.
And this is, by the way, this is top to bottom.
Yes.
What they're doing. 11 joint ventures in China. But listen to some of the specifics they get into.
We're involved in vehicle manufacturing, sales, distribution, engineering, design, downstream businesses such as telematics, financing, and used cars. We operate 11 assembly plants in China, 4 powertrain plants in 8 cities across the country. We have more than 2,700 dealerships and sales outlets nationwide.
That's what they have in China right now.
You know what telematics is?
I don't.
It encompasses telecommunications, vehicular technologies, road transportation, road safety, electrical engineering, and computer science.
So OnStar.
So pretty much, yes.
Is that it?
Anything that has to do with the electronics inside the vehicle. Yeah, that's so they're which, come on, China and the Asian market has always given us better electronics.
So this is essentially how this whole thing is shaped up. And what we are about to do is make matters worse. Because unfortunately, President Trump is getting too involved. Here's what should happen with President Trump. He should say, he should expose them for everything I just mentioned, because somehow the American people don't know that, and then let them do what they want. Yes, we bailed them out, and yes, they should be, hooking a brother up and not, bailing on these plants, because they're shutting down auto plants in Michigan and Ohio because they're discontinuing those lines. So I get that, but to not let it die is throwing good money after bad. It's saying we have made a colossal mistake in bailing them out, and now in order to try to get our investment back, we're going to invest more money, or we're going to try to have more say in what they do. This is the person going, I'm down. I'm at the craps table. I'm down 20,000, but I can get it back. I can get it back. Here's another 10. I'm down 30. I can get it back. Stop it. I can get it back. 22. I can get it back.
And the president doesn't even drink.
Right, exactly.
How is it? Why is he? You'd think that he, of all
this
people,
is on
would know
his
better.
watch now. This is on his watch. They asked President Trump about this, and to find out that they're going to shut down some auto manufacturing plants on your watch is bad politically. And even if he's upset because it's going to be bad for the economy, you don't fix it by saying, I'm going to fix it. You fix it by leaving it alone, freeing it up, getting rid of more rules and regulations, by passing less rules and regulations on companies like General Motors, being less involved. But when they ask him about it, here's what President Trump had to say.
Well, we don't like it. I believe they'll be opening up something else. And I was very tough. I spoke with her when I heard they were closing.
CEO.
And I said, this country's done a lot for General Motors. You better get back in there soon. That's Ohio. And you better get back in there soon. So
I understand what he's saying there. Right? You better get back in there. We've done a lot for you. You're right. What are you going to do, Trump, if they don't?
But you'd think he, of all people, being a businessman, would understand this is not what you do.
Well, because the problem is, being a businessman, he knows what they're doing wrong. So in his mind, Brad, he's going, okay, I don't want this. I don't want it on my watch. It's bad for the economy, bad for all the... Okay, got it. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt, and he truly wants good for America, and it's nothing selfish. Okay, great. And he's a businessman, so he knows what they've done wrong. They have produced inferior products.
Yes.
For too high of a price. He knows that. We all know that. Great. So he can tell them how to do it right. He's a businessman. Gotcha. The problem is you're the president now, and to tell them how to do it right is wrong, because you end up down the same road that Obama was on, of the government can tell him what to do. Trump.
Yes.
Unless they hire you as CEO, they should fail. Unless they hire someone who can actually do it. And by the way, thinning these lines out is a step in the right direction from a business standpoint.
Yes.
They suck. Nobody wants them. Why the hell's the Impala been around for the last 15 years or more? Stop. Get rid of these things. Nobody wants them. You didn't know that 10 years ago? You didn't realize. You just today said, ho, what's this? People are buying crossovers? This is a shock to you?
Yeah.
You didn't notice the average consumer was driving down the road 8 years ago going, there's a lot of crossovers on the road. Did you notice those?
Yeah. Probably even a lot longer ago than that.
Right.
I mean, 15, maybe even into the late 90s, so maybe even almost 20 years ago.
Right. So that's a problem. Here's what else he had to say.
we have a lot of pressure on them. You have senators, you have a lot of other people, a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure to do what? to make them manufacture those bad cars? Sorry, we can't let you go. We gave you money. You're going to continue to make cars that people don't want. And then what happens? They come to us for another damn bailout, saying, we've been making these cars no one wanted. The government, you forced us, and now we need a bailout. And then what happens? You get some jackass like Joe Biden running for president, maybe gets elected, and he starts saying, we can't let GM fail again. And then how many times do you go through this vicious cycle? We bailed out Chrysler in 1980. And people heralded it. Lee Iacocca, it was great. He saved it. No, it wasn't. He got a bunch of government friggin' money in deals. That's what. Well, he paid him back. It doesn't matter. If somebody else wasn't willing to invest in it in inferior quality, then it should have died. And what would have happened? Well, people would have lost their jobs, and there wouldn't have been equal number of jobs. It's not a net loss. If you're selling to Americans, on average, 1 million cars a year,
right?
They still need, on average, roughly 1 million cars a year. Just because one of several manufacturers goes away, people, we'll just deal with 10% less cars. We'll lose 900,000 now.
No.
The other companies are going to sell more, and there will be opportunities there.
And Chrysler, unfortunately, continued to make Chryslers.
Yes, which didn't do so well. Here we go.
They say the Chevy Cruze is not selling well. I say, well, then get a car that is selling well and put it back in.
And he's right. You're right, President Trump. And they are getting rid of them, possibly for something else in China.
That works. Wow. Those things are expensive.
So I think you're going to see something else happen there, but I'm not happy about it. Their car is not selling well, so they'll put something else. I have no doubt that in a not too distant future, they'll put something else. They better put something else in.
Or what? Or what if they don't?
Too big to fail.
Is the military going in?
We'll send the National Guard in with tear gas.
What are your options as president?
To stay the hell out of it.
At gunpoint. They better.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, I know. You're going to punish them economically. How are you going to do that?
Taking away their tax breaks and not giving them money.
Mm-hmm. And you don't think there will be lawsuits if it's targeted specifically? Unless it's a violation of a contract of something they already promised, you will have no say in this thing. So then you punish everybody there? Anything that you would do would become particularly targeted, and any reasonable person would say onerous on the government's part. Now, all of the people out there that hate Trump are going to get all pissed off and say, how dare he say these things? How dare he tell a business how to run? Those are going to be the same people that supported Obama when he did just that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's frustrating. It's
insane. We're doing the same crap and expecting something to be different. By the way, all of you people that support Trump right now, I'm sure, are saying, that's great, he's getting tough with them because they got our money. It's the same thing. It's the government telling a company what to do. They should not. You got to remember, the goals of a company are different than the goals of a country. Sometimes they have shared goals, but their bottom line is very different. The bottom line for a company is supposed to be the bottom line. Mm-hmm. Now, you could factor other things. You have other values. You want to help people or something. That's fine as well. But your goal is survive, make money. Mm-hmm. If you don't, the other goals are going to go away anyway. Well, we take a lot of our money and we help people. Great.
And if you have investors, pay those investors back.
Yeah, that's another thing. You might want to help out the people who trusted you instead of just taking their money.
Uh-huh.
Brad, think about it this way. If a company has a bunch of different goals, well, we help starving puppy dogs in Botswana. Great, that's wonderful.
That's great.
And we do. You know what? We also we love to have marches. We get out there and march, and we pay for people to march. And great, okay, great. If you don't make a profit,
right,
in order to pay for those things,
then
all of that goes away anyway. You're not going to get any of those other things.
Yes,
very different goals there. Stay out of business and leave it alone. So this is going to be where the rubber meets the road. This is going to expose the hypocrisy of most Americans here, because the people that have supported Obama are going to trash Trump for him putting pressure on GM. And the people that hated Obama being involved and were pissed at the bailouts are going to go, yes, good for you, Trump. And they'll both spin it their own way. The Trump people will go, well, he's being tough on him because they got our money and he's holding them accountable. No, still involved, telling them what not to do. And if he puts pressure on them, they're going to continue to produce inferior products that go to China, with most of the jobs being in China. And if you supported Obama back in the day, you're saying, well, Obama worked with them. He saved them. Trump is just being a jerk to them and forcing them. Really? Do you remember what Obama did when he forced most of the car dealerships to shut down? Do you remember when they stole? They went in as part of the bailout and forced some of those General Motors, I think it was about a third of them, General Motors dealerships to close. Even though they had contracts, even though this was the cornerstone of their business, selling Chevy products, they stole their business. They just said, you are going away, and they did.
I don't remember that.
That was a huge part of it.
I was blissfully ignorant then.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about here. By the way, in 2011, Obama called the Volt the car of the future. Do you remember him sitting behind the wheel?
Yeah, I do that, yes.
Remember he took it for a drive about
I do
12
remember
feet.
That. Yeah.
Remember that? He drove it. Okay, get in.
Car of the future.
Pull up. Okay, stop. Whoa, that ride's smooth.
Well, he was right. It is the future, and it is still a car.
So to him, the future is the length of time equal to roughly 7 years?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Technically, he was right.
I'm Mike Opelka from PureOpelka.com. Here's your 2-minute drill. It's time to talk about talking points. What the heck do I mean when I say talking points? It's that unified message that each side tries to get out every day. The left does it, the right does it, the left does it better because they have acolytes within the mainstream media who will take their talking points memos and present them as if they are facts or reporting or just something that you need to know about. Case in point, last week there was a story about a rumor the president was thinking about asking the DoJ to go after James Comey and Hillary Clinton to criminally prosecute them. And he was told, don't do that, it'll lead to impeachment. Well, the left banded together and called him a third world banana republic, dictator, Nazi, whatever. They also had a talking points memo saying that this was just like Richard Nixon. And the articles of impeachment, the second one specifically. Listen to this montage.
I was reading before we got on the air the second article of impeachment against Richard Nixon.
Today I read the articles of impeachment against Richard Nixon, and everybody should go read Article 2 of it and how similar it is to what we've seen Trump do here.
This is so similar to what Richard Nixon was investigated, and ultimately articles of impeachment were voted in the House Judiciary Committee.
It's a lie. It's disingenuous. It's insulting. None of these people were reading the Nixon articles of impeachment over the holiday. They're just regurgitating Dem talking points. It's sickening. Testudo, my friends.
Mike Opelka's 2-minute drill is powered by MoJoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.com. Yeah, I get thinking that. Why isn't that isn't
your button's not working?
Why is it not working? It's working sometimes.
The fact that you found the button is impressive. The fact that it's not working, not surprising.
All right, well, that's trouble. Wow, you're right. That isn't. Ron, the button's not working.
Yeah.
Why isn't the button working?
While you're fixing your button,
Ron,
I will bring up
this button right here. This button isn't working.
Oh,
the one in my hand.
Well, that can be a problem.
Really a problem there.
I think Tainted Salad Sleeve put it best. Hey, GM, I have 4 reasons why my taste in cars have changed. My 1990 Buick Century, my 1995 Pontiac Bonneville, my 2000 Buick LeSabre, my 1997 Buick Park Avenue. Yeah, that's a good reason. And TJ Toppin, I knew in 2011 that the bailouts were bad simply because the companies failed once already. I didn't realize just how bad it really was, though. And these are the things that make me want to pull the rest of my hair out.
The rest of your hair out?
Yes, the rest. What little I have left, I really want to pull out.
All right. Yeah, that's incredibly frustrating. The problem is it's even worse than I've laid out.
Great.
This is a lesson for the ages, and unfortunately, most people will never know of any of this stuff. By the way, before we get to that, can you give me an example, Brad, of a company that gets it? Because clearly GM does not know how things should operate. A company that would provide a good product or service that people actually want at reasonable prices, that would likely flourish.
You know, as one of our sponsors, I would have to say that Tar River Arms does get it, in fact.
Explain how.
Well, first of all, they are being innovative with the way that they are marketing and advertising and presenting the products that they sell. They're doing it differently in the way that they sell them to you, and they are actually saving you money and giving you good prices on a product that you can get, in a lot of other places, but you can get it at a lower price and with better customer service at their dealership.
Explain how.
Well, for instance, let's say you're looking for a Glock. You can take a look around locally.
I love locks.
You can not a lock, a Glock.
Oh, like a gun?
Yes, like a gun.
Oh, gotcha.
Like a gun. Because you see, Tar River Arms is America's first virtual gun store. And the reason they say that is because while you can't actually handle the gun that you see at Tar River Arms, well, you can if you go there, but
it's the next best thing.
It's the next best thing. You can take a look at it from basically all around, 360-degree view with the technology that they use on their website. You click on the gun of your choice, and you can spin it, you can twist it, you can turn it, you can zoom in on it. You can see the fact that they need to clean some of their guns better.
You know, I just found out that they're working on to even amp it up even more. They're going to take their 360, their 3D, the 360 view, and they're going to make it a 365 view.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's going to be really impressive.
Yep.
Until the 366 view comes
they'll
out.
Just work on that.
Yeah, I think
too.
so.
They'll just keep going with it or whatever. Try it today. TarRiverArms.com. It's a veteran-owned and operated business. They do an amazing job. And remember, when you purchase a gun and it gets shipped to your local FFL, there's no transfer fee. They take care of that because that local company's going to charge you.
That's how they make it.
And also free shipping. TarRiverArms.com. Check it out today. General Motors, I'm sure, could teach many lessons about business and what not to do over the years.
Yeah.
But this one particular story that we're talking about today about them closing the shutting down the cruise line and the Volt line, they're pulling out of their Detroit Hamtramck assembly plant.
Boy, is that assembly plant frustrated.
Hamtramck?
Yes, they are frustrated.
Are you familiar with the plant?
I am not, but if it's a typical GM plant, I can imagine.
Oh, no, it's far worse. They built the Volt there most recently.
Oh, nice.
Most recently.
What did they build before that?
Very little. Picture it, 1981. General Motors says, hey, we need a new factory. We got to get a factory. We need other stuff built.
Okay.
And Hamtramck and the city of Detroit and the state of Michigan worked with them to build a new plant in Hamtramck.
Where's Hamtramck?
It's a suburb, basically.
Okay, all right.
It's a different city, but it's
got a neat name.
It's in Detroit. Yeah.
It's catchy.
So Hamtramck said, okay, yeah, that's great. Let's build it here. This is awesome. And they said, great, we need about 500 acres. And they said, how about this neighborhood where there's already stuff there?
Okay.
And they said, great. Except, see, the people in that neighborhood, who used to be known as Pole Town, said, yeah, that means what? You're going to build
a factory in the middle of our neighborhood.
And they said, no. There's not nearly enough land in the middle of your neighborhood. We're going to need your neighborhood. So they used eminent domain to take what ended up being about 1,500 homes.
Wow.
1,500 homes.
Well,
displacing almost 5,000 people from those homes. They took 140 businesses, a hospital, and 6 churches. They leveled a neighborhood of 1,500 homes, 140 businesses, a hospital, and 6 churches to build a $500 million plant in 1981.
There was nowhere else they could possibly build.
There's all kinds of places they could have built, but they did. In fact, there's the Packard plant. I don't know if that was closed by then, but anyways, it got closed shortly thereafter. Lots of stuff in Detroit or the area. So they used eminent domain, even those people objected, and the Michigan Supreme Court said, yeah, you could do this. Sure.
How did they?
It's what is it? New Haven versus Keogh? That's the famous case where they said you can. The Supreme Court ruled you can use eminent domain to take private businesses and homes for better use, development. Not like a train track or a road or something,
right,
but for redevelopment to bring in more money in taxes.
By the way, the Packard plant was used by other businesses as storage until the late 1990s.
Yeah. So anyway, so this was their big role. Now, they ruled that in the 1980s, and they went ahead and built this plant. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, just a decade or so later, by 2004, the Michigan Supreme Court reversed itself and said, nope, they can't do that. After the plant was built.
I was going to say.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
A little too late.
And after all those people who had been forced to sign off and give up any claim they had against the government. Because that's always what they put in there.
Yeah.
Future lawsuits. So, hey, by the way, you were all right.
Sorry.
Where are you? There's nobody here to tell that they're right or whatever.
We're really sorry, though.
Right. So they reversed their decision. Now, that plant became this mammoth production house, just churning out nothing over the years.
So they opened it, they built it, they opened it, and
they built some things, but it just never took off. They just never ended up using it like it was supposed to. So finally, along comes Obama at the point of a gun, takes Americans' money and says, we are going to bail out General Motors, which shouldn't have happened. He goes to that Volt plant in Hamtramck where they're building these things. Drives a car for about 10 feet, gets out, declares it the automobile of the future, and now that's going away. And once again, that plant is going to be idle.
Well, good. That's good for Detroit.
GM officially declares that factory unallocated now in corporate memos and whatnot.
That is such, I'm sorry, that's an unallocated plant.
So we're shutting it down?
No. We're going to keep it. It's just unallocated.
So are we producing automobiles
then? No, that would be silly. No, it's unallocated.
So then you're shutting it down because the people...
it's vacant. It's
because there are people there right now producing cars that nobody wants. So if it's unallocated, that means those people are going away, right?
That's a good question. Are they going away?
Yes, they're going away.
Oh, all those jobs.
In one form or another, they are going away.
Well, see, it wouldn't surprise me for a company like that and the union to continue to pay those people.
Well, there's the other interesting point of this. The union is objecting like crazy. They are screaming how this is outrageous. And what the union is going to do now is scream and suddenly become BFFs with Obama, and Trump, and say, we've got to stop this from happening.
Right.
Everybody has skin in the game to keep this from happening, except the American people and the free market. Right?
Yeah.
That we want or should want this to happen.
Yes,
it's bad. It sucks that they screwed us out of the money, but it'll be worse if it doesn't happen. So the unions, absolutely. The people of Hamtramck, Detroit, General Motors, Michigan, all of these people want the jobs. They want the money coming in. So they're going to scream and fight. Trump doesn't want this because, you don't ever want to see a factory shut down.
Right.
And you don't want that as soon. I mean, the guy's running for re-election now, right? We're 2 years out from 2020. Within the next year, it's going to be full election mode.
It's true.
So, I mean, it's going to take a long time to figure this out. Could take more than a year.
Yeah.
So they got to start working on this now. What do you think is going to happen? Somehow they're going to let this not happen. Somehow they are going to step in and save this. And by save it, I mean, and mark my words, they are going to take more of your money.
So GM, what they could do, I guess, is take other successful models and move the production there. Although that would cost, I would think, millions to move the tooling and the robotics and everything else to another location. They could rent the space out. Except that really
that doesn't help them with the jobs, though.
Doesn't help with the jobs. It could be a giant parking structure, and all of the people who work there now could be valets.
I don't know what they're going to do with it, but mark my words, something is coming.
No, you're right.
It has to.
Yeah.
These people cannot, and by these people, I mean all of them. I went down the list. They cannot let this happen.
Did you say 15,000?
I think it might be 15,000. That might be on all of those lines, though. I think it's all of them.
Because, but at that particular plant, I wonder because
I saw the number 15,000, but I don't know if that was the plant
in Hamtramck.
Yeah,
as of the 2010 census, the population of that whole city
is 15,000.
Was 22. That was 8 years ago. So I wonder if it is. And did you see where it was in 2015? Its city council became the first majority Muslim city council in the U.S.
No, I didn't. I know Dearborn's huge. There's a huge Muslim population. That's just interesting. Part of the reason is the legend, whether true or not, and it does seem to be fairly true, is that Henry Ford was crazy anti-Semite and actually sought out a bunch of Muslims to work as kind of a screw you to fight against. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's the legend or the rumor, and it seems to be there seems to be some truth to it.
Huh. Yeah, people in history just if you do a little digging, sometimes they're not quite what you think they are.
So there you go, Brad. There's the history. Mistake after mistake after mistake, and more is coming.
Too big to fail. They're too big to fail.
Such a nonsensical term. Too big to fail.
And the problem is, if you get into, and I'm sure that there are exceptions to this, but you get into most GM cars, you can tell when you shut the door.
Oh, yeah.
It just doesn't.
It's not solid.
It does not feel the same.
I have avoided even renting GM cars. I swore on the air I would not buy any General Motors product or Chrysler product because they got my money anyway. Screw them, and I haven't. I've purchased several cars since then. I refused to buy one. And I said, I won't even rent one.
I owned a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Most comfortable vehicle, a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
No, I heard you. I was saying I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Most comfortable vehicle I think I've ever owned until I came out one day and the passenger window was down. And I thought, I don't remember rolling the passenger window. And apparently while I was walking in the park, the whole motor assembly in the passenger door just decided to break. And the window just dropped into the... Yeah. That was after the rear window decided it was going to break as well. CarMax ended up buying it back from me.
Wow.
Sad.
Yeah, such a sad state of affairs. And this, I warned everybody, you cannot do this. You're just kicking the can down the road. We knew it. Nobody was out there, and no reasonable people or persons in mass that didn't have some sort of skin in the game were out there going, wow, look at those new Chevys.
Yeah. No
one was doing it. I mean, look around. How many people do you know that were passionate about purchasing a Chevy or Chrysler product in the last 10 years just because they love the vehicle?
No.
The only reason they were willing to do it is if they thought they were getting some sort of deal or they had some other political skin in the game.
I will say the Corvette looks pretty badass. And I'm not a Corvette fan, but the latest models of the Corvette look pretty bad. I have no idea how well they drive.
And guess what? They should get rid of that in favor, every other line in favor, and just become a specialty classic, or sports car.
And the Camaro looks pretty good.
I have seen a lot of the Chargers and the Camaros on the road. A lot of those.
And they all stole their styling from the late 60s models when they were super popular.
Yeah. And that was smart of them to bring it back, but it's not a sustainable model by itself.
No.
Count the number of Toyotas and Hondas on the road.
Yeah. That last forever.
Why do you think so? I drive my mom's old Honda Fit. The thing is, I don't know, 11, 12 years old, a couple 100,000 miles.
And it continues to go.
It is beat up like crazy, and it just keeps going. Yeah. And I just keep racking up the miles.
I had a Toyota truck. When I sold it, 313,000 miles on the thing.
All right, let's get to some comments, some communiques now all across social media. Please follow us. It's at MoJo50 Radio or at Doc Thompson Show or at Real Brad Staggs.
Yes. Stinky, idea for UAW, become the union of undocumented workers. They'll become richer than they ever dreamed. That's true. Florida man's purple mojo, unallocated, is a corporate word that means GM can't get people to move to Detroit even for higher paying union jobs.
The sad thing is Michigan is a fine state. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cold weather, climate. I hate the politics of some parts of the area. Parts of Michigan are.
I hate the politics. I hate the weather. But other than that,
it's fantastic state.
It's a great state.
But no, I mean, it has a lot going for it. Beautiful. There's a lot of resources. I mean, it's all along the Great Lakes. I love it. Love them.
It's pretty.
It's just the crazy ass politics of the cities.
Yeah.
And the city of Detroit has geographically and resource and everything, so much going forward. Its geographical footprint for one city is gargantuan. And yet there are entire neighborhoods where there's nothing there now.
Oh, and the police force up there, there was a...
they don't respond to calls.
They can't. They don't have the people.
I think I told you one of the side benefits of that. It's become fairly libertarian.
I'll bet.
Yeah, because the police are prioritizing. They're like, you're walking down the street smoking pot. Well, they've decriminalized it now, but even before they did, they're just like, I don't have time for that. I got to go deal with this murder.
Yeah.
Sir, that's what they've done. So in that regard, it shows you how the right, and by the right, I don't mean politically I mean the correct ways, and nature finds a way. For example, you go to areas or cities where they're falling down, right? And you'll see parts of eventually nature starts crawling back up. The plants take back over. All that stuff breaks down. It takes a long time, but it's there.
Actually, I think nature starts taking over pretty quickly. You leave a building unattended for a few months, and man, nature starts taking it back.
And you drive through parts of Detroit, entire neighborhoods, the buildings are almost gone. They've been completely swallowed up because there's nobody on the road. I remember driving through Detroit when I first moved there 7 years ago or something. And I grew up just a few hours from Detroit around the lake. Cleveland, Chicago, Buffalo, all these different towns I've spent a lot of time in. And Cleveland, you go through the bad neighborhoods, the poor, depressed, the ghetto. And you know, if you're on a major road, find a major road, and you head in any direction on that major road, it's only a few minutes before you start going, okay, we're coming out of this.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 minutes or so. Right. Cleveland's a smaller town. Most cities, even big cities, are that way, right? Except Detroit. You drive and drive and drive on major thoroughfares in bad neighborhoods, and it just stays that way. 15, 20, 30 minutes in every direction. You're like, not getting out of this. It's like Escape from New York. You see Snake Plissken over there bludgeoning somebody. That's how bad it is. You look down the little side streets in these neighborhoods because so many people have bailed, and you'll see on a house, old suburb or a city neighborhood where houses right next to each other, and let's say 20 houses on the street. You drive down and you're like, abandoned house falling apart, abandoned house falling apart, burned house falling apart, abandoned house, empty lot, abandoned. One person living in what should be an abandoned house. And then the cycle repeats. There'll be one person on a road like that with all abandoned houses.
Well, and I don't know if it's still this way, but there was a time not too many years ago where you could buy houses for literally a few $100.
Yeah, you get some of those, whatever.
But
now,
I don't know why you want to live in that house, or maybe you buy it as an investment, hoping the neighborhood's going to come back. But then I know that they started mowing entire neighborhoods down because there were such crime.
Dave Bing, as bad of a mayor as he was, got a couple of things right, at least in idea. He said what has to happen here is the city has to physically, with all the people, constrict. So what happened, you had a city that was, I think, designed for either 2 or 4 million people that they could comfortably, when they originally designed, that's this geographical footprint. And it has, I think, 400,000 in the city now.
In Detroit?
They all fled to the suburbs. The suburbs, boom, it's, the metropolitan area is still gargantuan. It's still, I think, market number 12 in media, something like that. It's huge. There. But that's the entire area. That's all the suburbs and the surrounding, small towns. And you've got this city now where, like I said, you'll get one guy on one street, 2 abandoned houses, every house abandoned on 2 streets, then 2 people on the next street. And he said they can't service them with fire and police anymore. They're too spread out.
Right.
So they need them all to constrict. And that's what should happen. They were trying to tear down a bunch of those old houses. They had money allocated to do it. Of course, a bunch of that money went missing and stuff.
That's weird.
I know, right? Government. And some of them they did tear down, but they needed to do that in mass. They needed to do it, 50 times what they were actually doing and redraw the city. Unfortunately, here's what happens as cities grow. Let's say you got a town and you're booming, right? For whatever the reason, it's turn of the century, it's the Industrial Revolution, and we've got factories. Whatever the reason, whatever thing at the time has extra tax dollars coming in and people moving into your town. And you say, holy moly, we've got enough money now to build a convention center. Or we've got enough money to, and by the way, convention centers quite often lose money.
Yeah, they do.
You're putting money in, but you get the extra tax dollars and, people coming in and buying sandwiches. So, and you go, okay, we're growing to the point that we can actually afford a some sort of little community rec center with pools and all this stuff. Oh my gosh, we can hire more cops because we're going and we need them because there's a lot more people here. And look, firefighters, we get more firefighters, there's more homes, and we've spread out. And they do this, and everybody gets that. It makes sense. As you grow, you build, you expand. Great. But what happens when you start losing people and resources?
Well, you can't stop spending because then the whole economy of the government starts to collapse.
It's pretty simple. It's expand and contract based on your needs and what you can afford. This is a simple concept we get, except when it comes to cities, because nobody wants to see their city shut down the rec center or get rid of the convention center. We've always got to be growing. No, if your city cannot afford it, if you don't have the resources and the people coming in and the tax base, either get them to come in or that stuff has to go away.
Yes.
Now, every mayor and city council, every politician in the neighborhood, we can't say that or do that because we won't get reelected yet. You know what we'll do? We'll balance the budget by kicking it down the road. We will promise all of those city workers that we can no longer afford money down the road when I'm not here. And by then I've gone to the state house and possibly governor and maybe even D.C. And that's the game they play. And that's what happened with the economy under Obama, under TARP, under George W. Bush, because it was right on the cusp of changing from one president to the other. And the reason we need to bail out General Motors, at least in part, they kept kicking the can down the road for these government workers. And within the last year, we've seen what's happening in the state of Illinois. They can't afford it. They want an additional just tax across the board on everybody because they kick the can down the road, which, by the way, that just kicks the can down the road. You're thinking short term, well, we'll at least balance the budget right now, but you're forcing everybody else out of the state because they're going, I ain't staying here with this crap. And then the problem becomes worse and worse. Nobody is willing to do the hard work because sometimes, quite often, the hard work is unpleasant.
Yeah, because and you're not going to get reelected if you start doing what needs to be done because you look like the bad guy.
They want lies, essentially.
Yeah.
They don't want the unpleasant truths.
Tell me I'm pretty. Just tell me I'm pretty. Just tell me this dress doesn't make me look fat.
See? That's what we're talking about there. So that's the future. That's what we still haven't figured this stuff out. Congratulations.
Leprechaun over on MeWe says sounds like a place to visit in an Abrams tank.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, except that you probably can't get enough fuel for it because the gas stations are all closed up there too.
So there's this piece of land out in the Detroit River called Belle Island. Okay, and it's kind of a, I guess, nature preserve at this point, and I don't know the full history. If you're from Michigan, you understand it far better than I do. But there were some other things you could go over there, and there may have been some activities, parks type stuff.
Oh, I'll bet there were activities.
Oh yeah, there were, and it has not done real well. And there's been this debate over the years what to do with Belle Isle. I don't even know what they've finally come up with. What to do with them. Meanwhile, the city of Detroit, as I said, is spread out and needs to constrict, and they don't know what to do. My suggestion was do the difficult work, plan for 30 years down the road, and say, we are going to redraw the city. Literally, we are going to put a map out on the table, and we are going to erase entire neighborhoods and redraw them. And guess what? That may require, trying to convince people to go or using eminent domain with some of that the proper way, because at times you do have to use eminent domain. And then I said, why not build a central park in the middle of the city? You've got this huge amount of land that who doesn't want to live across from the park, this big central park. And I said, and then sell Belle Island to investors to build expensive stuff out on the coast in the river or whatever. But the problem was it was met with objections because the people of town said, Belle Island is for city people to go and use and blah. How dare you give it and sell it to the rich people with the...
Right.
How's that working for you right now?
Yeah, not so well. No. Although they say that it still gets, Belle Isle Park gets like 4 and 5 stars from people who visited it.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. But again, the point is, why don't you build a new park that's more accessible to everybody? Because that's at the far end of the city. Yeah. There are people that are in the city that live really far away from it. So, okay.
By the way, Detroit's population is like 673,000. It is the 23rd most populous city in the country. It's not
the metro, but metro-wise, you had a couple million more people.
Yeah, I think it was like 4.3 somewhere along and through there. But it's It really is. It's sad what's happened to Detroit. But again, imagine if we were in the time of wagons and wagon wheels. Would the government be bailing out the wagon wheel industry?
Yes, they would. And that's how you have to look at it.
And that's what a lot of the Buick LaCrosse. It's a wagon wheel.
It's buggy whips. It's now sadly the incandescent light bulb. They killed that. They did the exact opposite with the incandescent light bulb. They made it go away, even though there was a market for it. They were inexpensive. Well, I love the way the light looks compared with the little CFLs and stuff.
Well, the CFLs, whoever the lobbying force for the CFLs was, it was probably General Electric. They were brilliant.
They just wanted people to spend more money on light bulbs.
But the CFLs were crap.
They were, but what they
did is still are.
They said, listen, light bulbs, we charge like 50 cents a light bulb or less. We need people to pay $5 a light bulb. So they went out and said, you can no longer buy them. And George W. Bush signed the law that made that possible.
Mm-hmm.
What a...
LEDs are the way to go and have been the way to go for years. And for whatever reason, the government skipped over the LEDs in favor of the CFLs, which, again...
an example of it done right is the Right On game. All you have to do, they've got a great product, and all you have to do is tell people about it. That's it.
Ours.
The Right On game is, and do you have the cards? Get the cards out.
Yes.
The Right On game, their slogan says it all.
Mm-hmm.
It's right on the front, underneath the logo.
It is mocking the left feels so right.
It does. We're going to play the Right On game as a little special bonus feature here on MoJo 50. Matlock of the Conservative Cartel and
Ron
Phillips is going to play with
Phillips.
us. Well, we're going to get buttered up and just have a good time, and we'll share it with you.
Christian assault. This is one of the cards. When the high school teacher asked her students to tell her who their heroes are, your daughter responded, Jesus. Bet that didn't go over so well in school. Both of your cars have "I'm Christian and I vote" bumper stickers.
You sent a participation trophy to a socialist senatorial candidate after his defeat.
Your diesel pickup truck had a gun rack and a "Don't Tread on Me" bumper sticker. Oh, yeah, and a Jesus statue on the dashboard.
What do we say? They're about $25 each, and you get 10% off with the promo code MoJo.
Is it MoJo? Yeah.
MoJo 20?
10.
MoJo 10. For 10% off. That makes sense.
MoJo 10.
MoJo 10. So MoJo 10. Just go to the rightongame.com.
There's no the.
I
There's
know.
No the.
That's why I corrected myself.
No the.
Rightongame.com. They sold a bunch yesterday. They're going to keep selling them. It's a great price point for a lot of fun. Right On Game promo code is MoJo 10. MoJo 10. Back in a moment with more, including your headlines with Brad Staggs.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. It's Election Day in Mississippi. Thousands of Trump supporters at a rally last night in Biloxi. The president was there, lending his support to incumbent Republican Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith.
If you let Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, and Chuck Schumer win the Mississippi Senate seat, they will try to erase all of our gains, reverse all of our progress.
Hyde-Smith facing Democrat Mike Espy in today's runoff. The president says he got on the phone to the General Motors CEO when the automaker announced it will be ending small car production at its assembly plant near Youngstown, Ohio. Is considering closing the factory for good.
I was very tough. I spoke with her when I heard they were closing, and I said, this country's done a lot for General Motors. You better get back in there soon. That's Ohio, and you better get back in there soon.
GM says the Lordstown plant, one of 5 factories up for possible closure. The company restructures, focusing more on autonomous and electric vehicles. The death toll from the devastating Camp wildfire in Northern California has risen to 88. Butte County Sheriff Corey Honea says just over 200 people still unaccounted for. The search for victims slow going.
The remains that we are now recovering oftentimes are remains that have been almost completely consumed by the fire.
The wildfire, now fully contained, has destroyed more than 13,000 homes. Ukraine's state security service says that its intelligence officers are among the crew on that Ukrainian naval ship that was seized by Russia in a standoff near Crimea. Wall Street this morning, stock futures are mixed. Dow futures up 53 points, NASDAQ futures down 26, and S&P futures off 5.25. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey guys, Ron Phillips with the Conservative Cartel. Are you tired of the bar scene, hoping to find the love of your life? Well, there is a better way for you single guys and ladies out there. Check out WeThePeople.dating. They make it easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out WeThePeople.dating for the love of people and people of love. Sign up and start dating today. WeThePeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
There's a better way to meet people without having to suffer through all the crazies. Weed out all the nutty people with WeThePeople.dating. That's WeThePeople.dating. It's easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out WeThePeople.dating. Sign up and start dating today. WeThePeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
This is David Barton with another moment from America's history. It is a definite biblical teaching that every individual will answer to God for the stewardship with which he was entrusted. Previous generations therefore realized that not only would each of us answer to God for how we handled our life and our family and our possessions, but also for how we handled our country. Consequently, voting was considered an act for which we were directly accountable to God. As Samuel Adams explained, let each citizen remember at the moment he is offering his vote that he is executing one of the most solemn trust in human society for which he is accountable to God and his country. He should then appeal to his conscience that he has not trifled with that sacred trust. Voting is a serious responsibility for which Christians will answer to God. Therefore, make sure that you vote and vote biblically in the upcoming elections.
For more information on God's hand in American history, contact Wall Builders at 1-800-8-REBUILD.
Now I get those comments in across social media. I'm really frustrated by that whole General Motors getting rid of their... No, I mean, I'm glad they're getting rid of the lines. It's not that. It's just an affirmation of something I warned about, but it didn't stop them from pissing away billions of our tax dollars. And ultimately, the same thing is going to happen. They're going to fail, except we may make those same mistakes again. Trust me, mistakes are coming.
Well, Sally Atkins-Dorak over on Facebook says, if I remember correctly, it was the dealerships owned by conservative owners that were forced to close.
Yeah, I don't... I remember some of them. I don't know if it was exclusively all conservative. I don't know that. Right. There were a lot of them. Maybe that was a consideration. The GM bailout, folks, we could talk about this for 12 hours straight. There is so much we didn't even get to. The entire history of just the bailout. I mean, really, someone needs to do a lengthy, detailed documentary on what really happened. Because we didn't even get to... I can't think of the company. It was the, it wasn't just the UAW that got bailed out. There's all kinds of unions.
Oh,
Delphi. Delphi is the other company.
And that was the, what did they do?
Delphi was a division of General Motors.
Is that the radios?
No, it was, that's Delco. So what happened was you had all these unions that made the cars, and then you had management. So you had all these even lower level management that were not part of the union.
Right.
And a lot of them worked for a company called Delphi.
Okay.
So what happened was when GM got bailed out, they really bailed out the unions. This is really what this was about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they didn't even bail out the unions or the workers evenly. They bailed out the UAW very well. Some of the other unions, they only got a partial bailout. Because remember, they were also talking about their pensions.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, the pensions. Oh, yeah.
Because they bailed out their pension plans. Because that was all screwed up.
Yes.
So, like the UAW workers, I think it was 100%. They got theirs. Good for you. Meanwhile, Delphi and the people who had retired from Delphi, which was a division, and most of them were white-collar workers.
Right.
Not making millions of dollars a year, but making maybe 100 by today's standard, 120, something like that. Comfortable. They didn't get bailed out at all. And the Delphi workers, many of them lost 50, 60% of their retirement. Some of them lost 70+% of their retirement.
Wow.
And they didn't get bailed out.
And after paying into it all those years.
And there's no time left to get that money. It's not like you could say, well, that sucks, but I'll just go back to work for 20 years.
Yeah, no.
No, you can't. You're old. You're going to die soon, or you have limited. So they didn't care so much about those people. Why? Because it was a blue-collar FU to the white-collar people. Now, listen, I grew up in a blue-collar family, so I get it, and I understand workers. I understand working, and I absolutely support you. But that's not in favor of the white-collar workers. And if this is going to be even and fair, don't go for 7 hours on all the other failures there.
You're welcome.
Let me just move on. This is going to trigger me. This is going to be the rainwater.
The rainwater?
This is drinking the rainwater in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Or toenail clips. What was the other thing that was disgusting?
God, that.
Hey,
nah.
Rob.
Stop it.
What was there? Something else
can we just not, let's just move.
Was it the tampon?
Let's move.
Oh, that's what it was.
Just move on.
That's what it's going to be.
Move
he's going to be
on.
He's going to go to
boiling. Yeah, boiling. Oh,
look,
nasty.
I can't hear you. Look, if I take these out, I'll go away.
Anytime that comes up, he's going to go auto bailouts. Auto bailouts. You see, Doc? Angry Doc.
Pavlov.
Hashtag disgusted Brad. Hashtag angry Doc.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a moment and regroup, get back on track here with your headlines and that, and tell you about something actually good, and that is somebody doing some good, and that's Dog Tag Furniture.
Yes.
It's a company who was started to actually do good to help bury veterans and pay the cost of burying veterans because the family, they couldn't afford it.
Which, again, is criminal. You fight for the country, and you come home, and, I mean, everybody dies, but you come home, and if you die, your funeral expenses are what do they get, like $600? That is so...
No, I think if you're active duty, it's $2,500.
Okay.
Out of about $7,000.
But if you're out, if you've been discharged...
A couple hundred. It's either $250 or $300, something like that. It's a very small amount. Now, you could say, yes, these people should pay for it themselves. Okay, I'll give you that.
All right.
I mean, that is responsible.
Then let's take away Congress's pensions.
Exactly. And to say that most veterans that you're talking about here, I'd say most veterans, it's not like they were all officers.
Right.
You're going to have more quote unquote enlisted than you would officers.
Yeah.
That means they make less.
A lot.
Right? I mean, come on. It's not like their families, hey, we're going to put you through Harvard, and then you're going to go and enlist.
Yeah.
No, if you do that, if you have the money to do something like that, or that bright future anyways, you're going to be an officer. So everything is kind of stacked. It just becomes kind of cyclical there.
Yep.
And Dog Tag Furniture isn't saying, hey, just give money. That's nice to donate money. But they're saying, buy our really cool wooden flags and some of the other stuff. Their wooden flags are awesome.
Yeah,
great artwork. So it makes great gift around Christmas or the holidays, birthdays.
Looks good on the wall.
Yeah, so it's great gifts, but also you're talking about the money going to help bury veterans. Go look at all the different designs they have. I don't know if they've actually offered this, but I bet you they do specialty ones for you.
I bet Troy would. I'll bet Troy would do. If you have a particular design in mind, I'll bet you he would be more than happy to, because I know he does different logos on some of the flags too.
So maybe you could do something else, whatever for you. Just go to dogtagfurniture.com or .org. Dogtagfurniture.com or .org.
Either one.
It works at both of them.
Same place.
Dog Tag Furniture.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
And these profound headlines are brought to you by dogtagfurniture.com or .org. Topping the news this morning, climate change is causing the Earth to wobble on its axis.
No.
No, it's not. According to NASA.
No, it's not.
And this has been out there for a while. I'm just now seeing it. This was actually out in September. For the first time, scientists have identified why the Earth wobbles as it spins. And
Is it Michael Moore?
It's the decrease, close, the decrease in Greenland's ice mass is the main reason for the wobble, according to NASA.
If so-called man-caused climate change is responsible for any of the wobble, as they say, it's actually from my anger over the claim of man-caused climate change that is causing it to wobble.
Well,
I am so tired of this nonsense. We spend so much time talking about this. It's not been proven. It doesn't matter. Move on.
No. They say the changes in the Earth, because when you start thinking, well, this doesn't affect me, the changes in the Earth's wobble could impact the accuracy of satellite tools like GPS systems, according to NASA. So your phone and your TomTom will stop working because the Earth is wobbling because there's a decrease in Greenland's ice mass.
If we don't have some fun stuff soon, it's going to get really ugly for me in the next hour because I am getting more and more pissed this morning.
How about this? Things that'll never happen to either one of us, part 2. Because I can't remember what part 1 was.
This is going to make me feel good.
Yes, it is. Just in time for the holidays, a malfunctioning Bank of America ATM in, I think it's in the Houston area. It dispensed $100 bills instead of $10 bills, causing several fights to break out, and the bank eventually telling the lucky customers, you can keep the money.
They never do that. What?
I know. It was here's what happened. So a guy goes to the ATM and he tries to get some money out, and instead of getting out the 10s or 20s, it starts spitting out hundreds. So what does he do?
First of all, you look for Alan Funt.
Yeah.
Or in more modern times, you look to see if you've been punked.
Yep.
Ashton Kutcher.
He decides he's going to put it on Facebook and Twitter.
You moron.
Well, actually, it probably ended up helping him in the long run, because what happened was a buttload of people headed down to that ATM and started taking out money. That's why the fights ensued when people waiting in line.
Hey, it's cool, we'll cover it.
Well, they had so many people that the prosecution would have cost the bank more money than it was probably worth.
So they said,
yeah, they said, just go ahead and keep the money. That will never ever happen to us.
You know, just a couple of days ago, the story came out that somebody bought one of those storage lockers for $500.
That was the other thing.
And found $7.5 million in a safe in there.
Why did they say anything?
That's what I'm like.
Why did they say anything?
Thank you.
The trouble is, you get that much money in cash, you really can't do anything with it. Because
my friend.
What would you do with it if you try to put it in the bank? They have to report it.
I'm sorry, my friend. I'm not going to tell you what I would do with it if that ever happens to me. But just let me tell you, there are lots of. You just have to be smart. No, you can't put. If you try to deposit more than $10,000, they flag it.
Yes.
Or if you do multiple days of $9,000+, they're going to flag it. That's the reason you, of course, pay your taxes up front and do all of that stuff properly, and then find other ways to not have people know about it. Trust me,
you can't even go to buy a car. You go buy a car with cash, and they'll report it.
That is true.
You can't. You have that much money.
That's why you don't do that.
You're going to tell me later what you do?
I absolutely listen. Okay. You come into some money, I absolutely will help you.
Because I got the storage.
Help you report it to the government properly.
Oh, good. Thank you.
For
That's
a
what
small handling charge.
I want to make.
Anyways,
sure
I see stuff like that in the storage locker, and then I start thinking. And then just a couple days before that, did you see? Again, a couple finds a lottery ticket that they never checked.
Yeah,
that was worth like $1.5 million.
Which is why I never throw mine away, even after I've checked them.
But do you ever check them?
I've checked them, but then even when I go to throw it away, I'm like,
maybe I do the same thing.
Maybe I didn't scan it the right way.
There was another one, and they were like a month or two from it being invalid because they didn't cash it in, and all that does is cause me to think about it and go and check all my tickets again. And it's like, your Bank of America. That was Bank of America.
Yeah, I hate B of A.
Picture it. 1992. A young, wet behind the ears Doc Thompson, young broadcaster, gets a job in Las Vegas.
Yes.
He is working at 107.5. Oldies, 107.5.
Good times and great oldies.
That's right. Oh, you know it.
Oh, yeah.
Just like every other oldie station at the time. Anyways, our office in the Bank of America building complex, which is located just off the Strip on Convention Center Drive that runs between the Strip and about what was the Stardust over to the Las Vegas Convention Center and the Las Vegas Hilton.
Where the old landmark used to be.
Just past the landmark, just down from there. In that complex, we worked in a little office they had in there. I normally got to work, let's say it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so I didn't even. One day, I had a doctor's appointment or something. I go and do that, and I show up about 45 minutes late.
Mm-hmm.
And when I get there, they're like, you missed it.
What'd you miss?
Some guy went in and robbed the Bank of America that was right there.
Yeah.
And then walked outside to all of the people sitting in the sun out there, and the little hundred or dozens of people, anyways, out there.
No.
And just started handing them all gobs of money. Cops showed up, arrested him, but they never recovered all the money.
That's so strange that they never recovered that, and you missed it.
A couple of my coworkers are like, nah, how would I know? I was like, you bastards. I would have been there, Brad.
See? No. These things will never, ever happen to you.
Instead, I stopped to go to the doctor, and by that I mean to help children.
Yes.
Homeless children. That's what I was doing.
The ones with flies on their faces. Yeah.
And puppies.
Yes. Hey, remember Facebook's election war room?
I do.
It's been disbanded. It's now empty. But the social network says that doesn't mean it's done fighting election interference, which, by the way, if you go back to when we were in D.C., remember I got Facebook banned?
Yeah.
That was the Nancy Pelosi thing?
Yeah.
That was their war room. They caught me.
They caught you.
I was a victim of their war room. Bloomberg did report yesterday, though, that the so-called war room, the dedicated space at Facebook headquarters, has been disbanded, but it's still there.
Making a note, business opportunity. I'm writing down now.
Okay. All right. Russia says that a proposed mission to the moon will verify whether the United States actually landed there.
How would it verify? Footprints?
Well, they'll be able to find the flag that we left. Don't you remember? They popped the flag into
They could have faked that, too,
But that's the thing. If they really went to the moon, if, in fact, our moon landing was authentic, the flag will still be there. You could have
shot a flag there.
No, you couldn't.
I think Russia did that with, little miniature flags.
They didn't. There was...
That was the rumor that they did that.
That they shot miniature flags?
Yeah.
And what?
So they could say their flag was there first.
But there is no Russian flag.
We don't know that. Are there little mini flags?
Like the ones in cocktails?
That's right. Little cocktail what?
So they'll get up there. It'll be little bitty spacemen. Little bitty flags.
Little toothpicks?
You never really saw them move around much, did you? So they just kind of bob. So they could just be little plastic
things. Well, that's because they were more the little toothpicks, the little Russian toothpick flags. Because you're like, ow! Ow! And then you go, ow! Oh, crap.
The heads of Russia's space agency spoke about the country's planned trip to the moon. They were asked whether they believe that NASA had actually been there 50 years ago. They smiled. Dmitry Rogozin smiled and said they would check whether their American counterparts really arrived first. We have set this objective to fly and verify whether they've been there or not. So we'll find out.
You just look for the graffiti.
The graffiti?
Neil was here.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Spray paint wouldn't work in space.
N-A, right there.
Spray, you'd go spray, and it would just...
You got to get it real close.
Which,
really close. It was special NASA spray paint just for graffiti.
Something else that
it was made from Tang. By that I mean that breakfast drink.
Oh man, you have to wonder if they've ever done all of those other things in space too.
I would. Do you remember Tang? It's been a long time, hasn't it?
The drink.
Do you remember? Yeah. Do you remember that?
Only for astronauts.
Yeah, because you guys are married too,
that was
right?
The nastiest orange flavored.
Yes, Ron. That's exactly right.
That's right. Poor Ron.
I'm married. I don't.
Yeah,
he's been married so long. He only thinks of the orange drink.
He doesn't even remember Tang.
He's like the orange drink. Yeah,
yes.
I remember as a kid being so excited to try Tang, just like the astronauts got. I was like, "Holy crap! These guys getting Tang, and now I get to try it at the orange drink."
That's not what I thought it was.
What? Orange drink?
Yeah, surprise. Speaking of Tang.
Tang is good.
Yes. Isolate that audio. Put that on a bumper sticker. Tang is good.
Writing it now.
Speaking of Tang, Heather Locklear, her psychiatric hold has been extended another 2 weeks.
She's still locked up?
This woman, and I'm kind of afraid for Heather because I'm not so sure she's going to make it. Sources close to her say that she was placed on a psychiatric hold last Wednesday that was originally only supposed to last for 3 days. And remember, this has been going on since like June.
Yeah, she's been in there a long time.
They say she may get out sooner than 2 weeks. The plan is for her to enter a facility for more long-term treatment. She gone cray-cray. And it's really too bad.
Well, it hurts you when you have character references like Pam Anderson and Margot Kidder.
Yeah.
Courtney Love.
I'm not sure that Heather Locklear is going to make it a whole lot longer.
No, doctors, she's fine. She's fine. She's normal.
Yeah, not so much. Real quickly, before we take a short break, climate change is now an economic risk. Farmers in some regions of the country could see higher short-term productivity because of climate that is warming, but crops and livestock face greater risks if more steps aren't taken to curb the rise in greenhouse gas emissions, according to the National Climate Assessment report.
So many words.
And the only reason I even brought this up is because the climate scientist here at the Texas Tech University and the primary author of the report, Catherine Hayhoe.
Wow, there are a lot of comic opportunities there.
Catherine Hayhoe.
Yeah, I would have gotten to the hey-ho part quicker. There is a lot of comic. Hey-ho! Good morning.
Hey-ho.
What the hell did you say to me?
Exactly.
What the? Wow.
Yes. So
she's been slapping people her whole life.
Yeah,
it's all
she
my
has.
name.
Best part of the entire story, and we pause very briefly to discuss something yum, and that is MoJoWildRice.com.
You know, one of the nice things about Black Friday is Chef Patrick made up gobs of wild rice.
He did. And you got to eat it.
We do, and we had a little bit left over yesterday, too, so I had some wild rice yesterday.
Was there more of the chicken the stuff he made at the end of the day with the chicken and all that?
No, there was none of that.
Really, really good.
No, there was none of that left as of last night.
That was...
As of yesterday morning, there may have been some that is now gone.
Nobody likes you.
Try the MoJoWildRice.com products. It's actually Nostalgia. They've been around almost 30 years now. And it started with Jay and Lori saying, hey, we've got this product, this wild rice, kind of an ancient grain. Think along those lines. The only native grain in North America, and it is so healthy. It's amazing, and it tastes great. And they said, we can take this to market in a bunch of different ways. This is pre-internet, so they had catalogs, and you get the rice flour and stuff because it's naturally gluten and cholesterol free, yet it has trace minerals and vitamins, and it's almost a complete protein by itself. And they said, this is an amazing product that is really good for you and tastes great. We can take it to market, and they did, and they were successful. They started coming up with other products. They never sit still. I guess they're just trying to keep warm in Minnesota.
Yeah, because it's cold up there.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're going to be up there, you might as well be harvesting the rice.
Let's make something because I'm cold. So they start making jellies and jams and syrups and the pepper jams. They have the wine jams and the beer jams. A lot of alcohol jams. I think they're also trying to stay warm with the liquor.
They weren't real serious about the beer jam.
No, and then they're like, wow, this actually kind of works.
Yeah, it kind of as a joke, and then it was like, man, this is good.
Coming soon, the bourbon jam, because they've done the others. That actually kind of works too, doesn't it? Coming soon, the meth jam. I don't think they're working on that, but who knows?
Not.
Maybe in the future at some point. All of their products are made with, are you ready for this? Like things that you know and can pronounce. Like like fruit. Strawberries.
Yes, natural stuff.
Blueberries. And
it doesn't have all those preservative-like things.
Right. Not in there. Tastes great, uber healthy. Try the sampler packs at MoJoWildRice.com. That's MoJoWildRice.com.
It is Tuesday, November 27th. It's the 27th, isn't it? 27 days until Christmas, 36 days until 2019, and 706 days.
The 28th.
Today's not the 28th.
It's 20th.
No, it's not. 706 days until the most important election of our lifetime in 2020. It's also National Craft Jerky Day. Just so you know. It was on this day in 1703 that it dissipated.
1703.
1703. This is a weird one, too.
Dissipated?
Yes.
That's a weird...
I know. That's why I said it's a weird one.
The mouth of the Nile.
No. It was the Great Storm of 1703 over England. It was an extratropical cyclone.
Okay, that's just fake news.
But here's the thing. It was for like 2 weeks this thing parked over London.
I ain't buying it.
And you would have thought that the Earth was ending and that there was global climate change back then.
Show me video proof.
Well, we'll have the videotape at 11, so be sure to tune in. And in 1978, this was the day that I'll just go ahead and tell you, San Francisco leaders George Moscone and Harvey Milk were murdered on this day. Because remember, we had, what was it, last week before was the 40th anniversary of Jonestown?
Yep.
So, Bill Nye is 62, still not a scientist.
Bill Nye the guy?
Yes. Yeah, he's still...
Hi, I'm Bill Nye the guy, the science guy?
Yeah, he's
no,
not,
nope, not at all.
Jaleel White is 41.
No way.
Yes. Remember him?
Yeah, he was Rudy on The Cosby Show.
No, he was Urkel.
Urkel, yeah.
He was Urkel. Do you remember his catchphrase?
Dynamite!
No, that was J.J. Walker.
Well, all of those actors
Did
look the
I
same
do
to me.
that?
I don't remember him ever saying that.
Oh, he said it all the time.
I never watched that stupid show, Family Matters. Never watched it.
So here's the thing.
He would say,
watch
did
him,
I do that while pulling up his suspenders, apparently.
Right. So
to listen to him talk outside of being on the show.
He was actually
He was pretty smart guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's kind of the stereotypical nerd of the time, right?
Yes.
So to have somebody call you an Urkel would not be a compliment.
No.
Okay. My mother-in-law didn't realize that back in the day. She was at my wife tells this story. I think it was a restaurant. And there was, or it might have been a grocery store, something. Anyway, so there's this young black kid who was helping her out, very nice kid, and cute, and, he was a teenager or whatever. And she was trying to pay him a compliment because she thought Urkel was cute on the show. And she referred to him as Urkel, and that didn't. My wife was at the time, she's like, Mom, can't refer to
hate it when that happens.
Yeah, it's not cultural.
Slight faux pas. Jimi Hendrix is 76 today, and Bruce Lee is 78.
Jimi Hendrix is dead.
They're both dead.
Bruce Lee is
they
dead.
would be if they were alive. That's how old
we got to
they'd be.
stop that.
Time to play Guess Who Said It. In my opinion, if women and gender-expanding people want to run for office, we can't knock on anybody's doors. We have to build our own house. Who said it?
I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yes.
I got it in here. I started to say.
Thank you. Yes, it was, in fact, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez who said just that. She is the gift that keeps on giving. And finally, our weird fact of the day. Research has found that altogether about 162,000 pints of Guinness beer get lost in your beard.
In my belly.
In the beard of UK drinkers every year.
How much?
Beard.
162,000 pints.
Oh, it seems like a lot.
As in the get lost in the beards of drinkers in the UK. Those are your headlines. That just means if you go suck on a few beards, you don't have to buy your own beer.
The state of Washington has put together a legislative task force to develop strategies to prevent mass shootings. Police, mental health experts, school shooting survivors, the ACLU, and others who make up the task force have come up with a list of recommendations they believe will help. Washington's red flag laws, or extreme risk protection orders, allow judges to temporarily suspend a person's gun rights even when no crime has been committed if violent behavior has been shown suggesting they pose a risk to themselves or others. Since the law was enacted in 2016, police and family members can petition the courts for a 14-day order which will take away a person's guns. A 1-year ban can follow the original order if the court is convinced that there exists a pattern of behavior that shows the person is at risk to self or others. The task force is seeking to expand the state's red flag laws to also include minors. At present, the law is silent as to whether minors can be subject to such emergency orders. Prosecutors reference one particular case in the state they believe supports their argument for an extension. The case involves a school resource officer and a minor under 18 who is facing charges for a crime. The resource officer is asking that the minor not be allowed access to weapons. Reportedly, the minor's father is not being cooperative with police and ensuring that the firearms are locked up in the home. Therefore, if the order could be served on the minor, then either the guns would have to go or the minor would have to go. Translation: parents would have to voluntarily disarm themselves and give up their Second Amendment rights if their child is accused of a crime, or risk losing their child to Child Protective Services if they want to keep their Second Amendment rights. And that's today's Reality Check with Susan Knowles.
Dating today with all the crazies out there has to be nuts.
Yes, it really would. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a place you could go to find people who think like you do?
Like me, like libertarians and conservatives?
Right?
There is WeThePeople.dating.
Amazing. What a genius idea. This is a site that you can go to if you're single and you are looking for somebody who you're going to think the same way, as for from a political freedom standpoint. If you want to date the right person for you, you'll find them in one place. WeThePeople.dating.
Okay, what the heck are you wearing? Moorhead?
Yes. Everyone should have Moorhead.
Moorhead State University ball cap.
On their hat.
Somebody sent you one.
Yes, JR15 sent us the hat. And that was after, was it Holly Ann that sent us you had the Moorhead
yeah, we had
sweatshirt
the hat
and the other
too.
hat too?
Yeah,
They're here somewhere. We need to set up a hat display so that when people send us hats, like they're going to start doing now, different hats.
What makes you think they're going to start? Because everything's a challenge.
Because everything's a challenge. They wouldn't possibly send us hats. I mean, they couldn't send us hats to wear. There's no way. Especially in the MeWe chat room, there's no way.
So,
Ron Phillips. Ron Phillips.
Ron Phillips. Did I see yesterday, you were saying something about the MoJo chat room in MeWe, the MoJo 50 chat room, where people were suggesting buying, like the group of jackholes was suggesting that they would purchase a sponsorship for the side of the bus.
That's what I heard that they were talking about. So Matt said, we will put anything on the bus that you want us to put on there. And I went,
now,
hold up there.
Hang on.
You're talking to the jackholes.
Yeah, trust me. They would find the thing that we could not put up there. They will.
Something that would be long and stretch the entire side of the bus.
Let's say, and if there's enough money, we'd put that up, though, honestly. I mean, you
can put it on the top of the bus.
Listen, you raise $75 million. I will put anything on that bus.
Yes. Yeah. And
seriously.
Yep.
30 whatever million goes to veterans.
Yep. And
okay.
The other 30 whatever million
goes in our pocket. Sure. Yep. $75 million. I will put anything on the bus. Absolutely. I cannot think of a thing I would not put on.
We'll have to use $1 million of it just to get out of jail.
That is true. And legal fees. And that's fine. That's fine. But $75 million, we're there. But with our more modest budget, I would say most things we would put on it. Even things that you'd push the envelope. Yes. But the price tag for a bus sponsorship for one of our title sponsors, there's a couple title sponsorship spots are going to be, I don't know, better part of six figures, 75,000, something like that. Half of that write-off goes to veterans charities, so it's a tax write-off for anybody. And then the rest of it, as we say, goes to our expenses, which the bus itself is most of the expense.
I started saying, you got to think about it. This bus will be traveling the country and will be set up at all of our, city locations in each of the states. There will be a lot of people that see this bus.
Well, think about this.
It's good advertising.
Ron.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Think about this. So let's say it's $75,000. So right off, boom, what is that? $37,500.
Yep.
Half of that goes to veterans charities. So that means $37,500 comes to us roughly. So let's round and say 40 grand. So 40,000. And remember, the bus is going to be about $100,000. And then there's some additional expenses. So two title sponsors are almost getting us to our budget, right? Our expenses.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we'll have some location sponsors in that, which will give us a little bit to actually keep the lights on with everything else we do.
We're going to go with like 4 title sponsors. 4.
I think that would be the max. We're actually shoot for just 2. Even we could would be nice, but we wouldn't do any more. But on the side of the bus, you'll get your big name. And listen, you want to put a little bit more on, we'll do that as well. But that's 50 days, state to state, 17,000 miles around the country, and on top of that, that also comes with a sponsorship packet of commercials. Yeah. So that price isn't just for 50 days, and it isn't just for the bus.
And a foot rub.
Well, and you got to think, if we do get news coverage, that's all over the TV, too.
And we'll get a bunch of that as well. So what happens is, as soon as you sign on board with it, we start your live commercials every day that go now through the tour, and then there's about a month of post-promotion where we're like, here's the stats, here's what we raised, stuff like that. So you're talking about a 9-month promotion with commercials every day, which if you just bought that schedule, it's going to be pretty hefty anyway by itself. You're talking thousands of dollars every month anyway. So it comes with that, plus additional coverage, website sponsor, all of that. And your price actually is just under $40,000 because you get a roughly $40,000 tax write-off. That's huge. Now, let's say you're a business that wants to partner with us for the merchandising, which we could do.
Yes.
We've got a couple people that are interested, but we haven't finalized them yet. They're going to make money off of the merchandise as well, because you factor in a little bit of a profit, a couple of bucks if it's T-shirt, ball caps, marital aids that, mention the tour on them, whatever. We end up selling.
We are not proud. We will do whatever. What?
Out there for veterans. I'll take one for the team. No. Veterans, I am willing to do this.
And I will cheer you on. I will cheer you on.
Hi, Doc Thompson, for this marital aid. Get your MoJo 5050 tour marital aid. Right now. Well, 50% of this goes to veterans. And by 50% of this, I mean the profits from selling this. I mean, veterans, unless you want 50% of the marital aid, you can have that as well.
You know what? HGTV actually tried to put that in a contract of mine. What? That I would not
use marital aid.
That I would not. You go out there and
you mean your personal life?
And no, they wanted approval over any endorsement that I would do. Well, you might be out there, endorsing. Things like vibrators and things like that. And
who doesn't want a nice vibrator on their back
That's
or
what
neck,
I said.
a vibrating chair?
That's exactly what I said.
Of course, Bradley's face down on his vibrating recliner, but that's a different thing. This is great.
What I do in the comfort of my own home.
Or in the center of the mall.
Either way, same thing.
We should get a video you like face down in the mall with one of those.
Well, this feels great.
Anyways, we'll do whatever we can. But, I mean, it's one of those, you're going to come off the tour. You do a sponsorship where you're doing the merchandising for us. You're going to, in the end, probably walk away from the tour up $50,000 in total. Because you'll end up selling all the merchandise and whatever else. So, yeah, it's a good deal. If you do want to help us out on the tour, we need some location sponsors. In other words, where we end up broadcasting from, where we hold the circus in each town or each state, because there'll be one stop in each state. The tentative tour schedule is up at MoJo5050tour.com because it's a MoJo 5050 tour. MoJo5050tour.com.
What you did there.
Ron, is there a link at MoJo50.com?
Just click the main image at the top.
And you'll see it up there. Okay, so it's an easy way to get over there. But check all that out. That price point is going to be around, it could go up by a couple hundred, but it shouldn't be any more than that. But at this point, it'll be around $3,000. Again, 50% off the top goes, so you get a $1,500, roughly $1,500 write-off, and then $1,500 goes to the rest of that. So we're being as transparent as we can about this so you can see all the money.
And that actually just gets us to that just sets us up in the town.
Right.
Because we will do more donations on site and things like that.
Well, and we have expenses for that as well because it's sponsor. You have broadcast and power and internet.
50% of everything that we raise.
Right, off the top, gets that or whatever. So you can see the numbers. Not like we're going to walk away with $4 million from this thing.
The jackholes want to put up the picture of Chris Cruz in the nurse's outfit on the side of the bus.
I'd be okay with that.
Yep.
Pony up the dough, people.
Yep.
It's there.
Will do.
I can be bought, especially when it's for veterans. Constitutional Drunk tweeting a picture of, he said, when I get 75 million, I want you to put a picture of your wife naked on the side of the bus and yelling at you. And then a picture of a blue waffle.
Okay.
Here's the
how
thing.
much will you do for 75 million? I'm just asking.
I'd do
the
that.
fact that you're thinking about that. Right?
I'm thinking.
I'm pretty sure my wife would do that too. Our finances suck so bad right now. Honey, they want to give 70 done.
Yeah. Put your clothes. Okay, they're off.
You know what? I would just say that would be one I'd have to defer to her, but I wouldn't veto it.
This is the what would you do at halftime at the Super Bowl on live television?
If it's
challenge.
me, done. For $75 million, done.
How much money would it take for us to do the tour in the nude?
A lot less than 75 million.
Each? Do we each?
How much do you have to walk away with? Damn it, I better clean that up. How much money do you have to walk away with, free and clear, of course, paying your taxes, where you're like, every tour stop, I will sit there for a couple of hours naked. 50 days.
Okay, is it behind a desk or do you have to? You're
yeah,
like
but I mean, you're going to
get. Are you like in a lawn chair, splayed out?
No, you're behind a desk as normal, but people can walk around, and you're going to see you're not going to be covered the entire time. I mean, you are going to drop a pen now and then and have to pick it up. You will have to unload the truck. You know.
So I'm good.
How much? 50 days on the road, naked. There's going to be countless pictures every stop. People are going to be comparing. Look at this. We think he had some work done halfway. Obviously, it was cold in Indiana that morning. I mean, there's going to be all those jokes flying around.
Look at this.
I've been known to be naked at. I probably should just leave that one alone.
Yes.
I?
So how much money? Because it's going to be public then. This is it. This is going to follow you around forever. How much do you have to walk away with?
If I walked away with $15 million.
Would you do it for 14?
Yes.
See, there it is. That's what you had to do.
I jacked up the price so that I'd have a little wiggle room.
9 million. We could do out the door, no tax. After taxes, you walk away with 9.
Well, how good? We just went from 14 to 9.
I'm just saying 9's on the table. That's the offer.
Okay,
That's the best I can do.
9's got to start right now because I feel the jackholes are on this.
Yes.
$9 million.
Remember, $1 million a year at 6% interest. Over the long haul, you should be able to get 6% is $60,000 a year.
Where are you getting 6% for $1 million?
Over the long haul,
yeah.
Investors will tell you.
All
So,
right,
okay,
$9 million, yes.
Let's say 3% over the long haul. It's $30,000 a year. So for $10 million, that's $300,000 in just interest, plus your original principal.
All right,
so
$9 million?
Is,
yeah, I would do it for 9.
The offer on the table from the Jackholes is currently $4 million.
You're going to have to bring that up. You're going to have to get that way up.
$4 million, Brad. You walk away free and clear with $4 million.
9.
You won't do it for $4 million?
9.
Because I got news for you. Your significant other right now is screaming, you're doing it for $4 million.
9.
He's doing it for $4 million.
9.
Because I got to tell you.
He's doing it for 4.
9. $9 million and I'd be there.
I think you have given yourself too much credit there for 9.
Oh, you think so?
I think you've oversold yourself.
I don't know.
Because I got to tell you, it's not going to take 9 for me. In today's world, I'm about a week and a half from losing my home and everything. So about a week and a half. So
4 million. 4 million.
9 seems a little high at this point.
5. Okay, 6. 6.
So here's the thing. You got to remember, let me ask you something. Do you, Brad Staggs, like, hang on, do you like going throughout your life with a lot of blah, blah, blah? Do you enjoy blah, blah?
No.
Do you enjoy driving down the road with the pressures of life and going to the store and it's just so many? Do you enjoy that
That's why
stuff?
I drink.
See, even with just a couple of $1 million, you don't have to worry about that so much.
Yeah, but having that much money comes with its.
The offer is 5.
$5 million, yes.
$3 million. I'm in.
See, Matlock, see?
I'm in for 3. I will all around that tour nude.
By the way, people are offering $3 million for you not to be naked, just so you know. That's it. You're in? Okay.
I'm in. $3 million, I'm in.
The offer is $2.8 million. Are you still in? See what I'm saying? That's the thing.
I'm in.
We set these numbers, then you're going, well, that's pretty close.
Wow. He's such a whore.
I know.
Thank you. There's some things I won't do, but that I would do.
Right.
What wouldn't you do?
Michael Moore.
That's another discussion altogether for a different radio show.
All right.
How much to have? We would be fully clothed on the entire tour.
Uh-huh.
But Michael Moore comes along with us, and he's nude the whole time.
Jeez.
And he will be sitting across from you, splayed out.
Oh.
And occasionally bending over.
It's the smell,
he
not
doesn't
so much the
shower
sight.
a lot. He does not, So how much do we put up with that on the bus?
Geez.
And he will never, for 50 days, be more than 4 feet from you the entire time.
Oh, how much? 5.
Bucks, $5?
$5 million.
You're talking about a $5
$5
foot
million.
long? One sub from Subway.
Is that all it takes? No, it's going to cost some cash.
Okay.
It's going to cost some cash. Well, see, the beauty of that is you're not doing it. So, I mean, look, we're all born, we're all born naked. We come into this world, we leave this world naked.
He's already setting up the marketing of this.
Yes.
Of how
so it's natural.
Right. This is what he's doing.
It's natural.
I got news, folks. It's not taking him $5 million. I think it's going to be over $1 million when it's all said and done. But I think he would see it would be difficult if you settle on. It's $1 million free and clear, and all I have to do is do that. Okay. We've got some bad news. The million's on the table, but
bounced.
But because of transfer fees and that, it's going to be $5,000 short of $1 million. You're not going, nope, I'm standing firm at $1 million. You're going to go, it's all right. That's how it works. That's the game.
Maybe.
So there
but you see, you start whittling away at the $5 million with your taxes and your fees and your title and registration.
As soon as you break that $1 million bill, it all just goes away, doesn't it? It's just you don't have that million anymore.
It's like a 20. As soon as you break it, it's gone. By the way, Oklahoma Tomcat will give you and I $20 million to keep the clothes on.
Done.
Deal.
Done. We're there.
Bring the money. Oh,
there.
You big mouth. Come on there, hot stuff.
Women around the world are chipping into that budget. That
Bring
fund right
it
away.
on.
That's what we screwed up with our fund.
What, the Keep the Clothes On fund?
No. We have our Indiegogo campaign right now.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Indiegogo?
It is Indiegogo, yes. It's.
Boy, that just
is
sounded
it Indiegogo?
Weird. Indiegogo?
Right.
Indiegogo.
It is Indiegogo.
Just realize what a stupid name that is. It's going to an Indiegogo. Da, da. Smokey Robinson song. Anyways, we had the little campaign up there. Mm-hmm. And I think we're about 10,000. What is that? 15% of our goal?
Almost 20%.
Almost 20% of our goal. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that's great. It's wonderful. It's going to help us grow a lot faster or whatever. All the information's up there. And we really appreciate that. But see, the mistake was marketing of it. We should have said, attention, women of the world. Brad Staggs agrees to be more clothed. Doc Thompson will not get naked. Clock's ticking. Women of the world. Unless we reach $20 million at the stroke of midnight on the 17th, I will get naked in public.
There's a market for both. Remember that.
Then you get our spouses out there going, you don't want to see this. Donate, please. Save yourselves. Save yourselves.
There was a time.
Right?
There was a time. There was a time.
Men of the world.
Naked.
Men. You know the whole little vote blue or we're withholding sex. Remember that whole thing during the election?
Yeah.
I just realized our power.
Men withhold sex?
No. Men threaten to get nude.
Oh.
There's good news and there's bad nude, right?
True.
Good nude and bad news. Nudes. We've learned that from Seinfeld.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
So women, good nude, generally speaking. Mm-hmm. There are some exceptions to that. But men, generally bad nude. So men, what we say, fine, you're withholding sex.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a little something and some sandwiches. I'm going down to the hardware store naked.
What? And
I'm just walking around the house naked. I am going to be nude until we have sex. How about that?
Which side of the aisle does Rosie O'Donnell fall? Men or women?
I think the verdict's still out on that. Probably some, maybe you should conduct some research. How about that?
No.
This is what we do.
No.
This is what we say. When women withhold sex, we just threaten to be naked. I am going to, listen, I am getting naked right now for the purpose of sex. And I am going to remain nude at home until we have sex.
Are you talking to me or your wife?
No, I'm thinking every man should say that. If they ever withhold sex, Brad, tell me that's not a selling feature. Obviously, I'm not wanting to get arrested, so I will put on clothes when we leave this house. But starting right now, you want to play that little silly game? Fine. I will be naked at home because I'm getting naked for the purpose of sex.
Right.
If sex happens, I'm happy to get clothed afterwards. Until then, naked, free. Right?
That's called a Thursday night around my house.
Ballin'. Right? I mean,
yeah.
And
yeah.
And if that doesn't work, fine. Go ahead and get naked. See what I care. No problem. What's that? Some lint on the floor? Let me clean that up.
I don't need a broom. I can do it with my palm.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. By the way, the things you've inspired in the MeWe chat room
You're welcome.
Really disturbing.
You're welcome.
I don't know what the hell is wrong with
I think we got power there. Sorry, ladies. More sandwiches, more sex, or there's going to be naked trouble.
Wow.
That's what's coming.
How do you people even think of this stuff?
By the way, our Indiegogo crowdsourcing campaign, that wraps up this Friday.
Yes.
And if we do not reach our goal, there will be a lot more naked men.
On this program.
I'm not saying I'm not committing to who it is.
Okay.
There's going to be nudity. Lots and lots of nudity. Forced nudity. Like nudity forced on you. You're not going to be able to avoid it. We'll come door to door. We will come to your house. Ha ha! Didn't donate? Yep. Let me start sanding that floor for you.
And by sanding the floor,
I'm gonna refinish that coffee table.
Is that hardwood?
Guess what? I'm going to be grouting the bathroom. I'm going to be laying tile in the kitchen.
Yeah.
300, I am tile.
300-pound gorilla. You're right. I am wondering about my choices.
See?
Over in the... Wow.
So get the communiques in there while Brad Staggs is being shocked, I say, at the comments in the MeWe Mojo 50 chat room. Remind you, if you're somebody that would like to be naked around the house and, lay in some tile, and you just can't lay tile naked like you used to because of pain, we have a solution for you. Try Relief Factor, and then you will be able to lay tile and build things, sand floors, grout the bathroom, whatever you have to do naked, because that pain will go away. That's the beauty of Relief Factor. Pain goes away.
Well, it's like the government bailouts. You'll find it much easier to reach over and grab your ankles.
Yep.
When you are taking Relief Factor on a daily basis, which I've been doing now for close to 5 years.
How long?
I think 5 years now.
How long?
It's yeah. I see what you did there. Look, if you are suffering from what we like to call the old Relief Factor, I just reached over, bent over, and grabbed a bag of Relief Factor.
It looks like this. This comes right now.
Blue,
if you're watching.
It's green. It's pretty.
Right there.
And if you would like to try Relief Factor, you can do it for $20.
How much?
$20. Same as downtown by going to relieffactor.com. You know that we had one that was already open. You know that, right? We had a bag already open, but you opened another bag.
See this?
It's botanicals, it's omega-3s.
So
and
weird pharmaceuticals from Big
you see,
Pharma
that's the
medicine?
thing about it. It is not weird pharmaceuticals. It's botanicals and omega-3s.
I thought it was made from like plants and stuff.
It is. You see, that's another word for botanicals.
Plants and stuff?
Plants and stuff.
I didn't know
They
that.
could have said plants and stuff. It just sounds more official when you say botanicals. Relief Factor, it's made from plants and stuff. It's really
like
good.
that.
It's really good for you. It's plants and stuff. Just go to plantsandstuff.com. When that doesn't work, go to relieffactor.com. And when you order it and you get your 3-week quick start pack for $20 and it works for you, by the way, take it as directed. Biggest complaint. It didn't work for me. Did you take it as directed? No. Just take it as directed. If it works for you, order more. If it doesn't work for you, don't order more.
Prison guards in Bullingdon, Oxfordshire, UK. Bullingdon.
Where?
Bullingdon, Oxfordshire.
This is why we kicked their ass in the Revolutionary War.
That's right, because they're, it was like this. It's like this. Okay, we must make that counteroffensive at Bullingdon Oxfordshire.
And by the time they did that, we were just
over there.
We're shooting them in the
and
head.
Like, where? Where are we meeting?
Yeah.
Bullingdon Oxfordshire.
Bullingdon. And we just, even with muzzle loaders, we kicked their ass.
That's it. Where are you going? New York?
Yeah.
Oh,
See?
gotcha. Okay, great.
So
Good
much
deal.
simpler.
Where are you going? Jersey?
Yeah.
Good to go. Prison guards in Bullingdon, Oxford, that place.
Yes.
Picked up a cell phone signal emanating from inside the prison.
It's coming from inside the prison.
So apparently they have the ability to and did trace the cell phone signal to a prisoner's ass. It seems to be coming from boop, 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 boop.
Reason number 2, we kicked their ass in the war.
When they removed it, he said, "That's not mine." And then said, "I don't know how it got there."
Wow.
Wow, I am as shocked as you are. That does explain the discomfort over the last couple of weeks, but
Yes. I thought it was just the roast beef.
That's not mine. He looked shocked and adamantly, vehemently told the guards it had nothing to do with him. It was not his. He's never seen that phone before.
At least he was convicted.
The contact information for his friends and family were in the phone.
Wow, that's a coincidence, too.
Yeah, so
it gets harder and harder to deny the existence of the phone being yours.
All of the contact info in that phone that was found in his ass was his friends and family. And yet he still said he had no idea how that phone got there. Now, Brad, this is shocking that his friends and family would associate with a person who is so low that they would frame a guy by secretly shoving a phone in his rear.
It is shocking.
Right?
It is. He needs to find different
Your friends and family are like, hey,
man,
let's be in this guy's contact, and he'll shove his phone in our other friend's ass.
That is bad.
Or it's possible he was lying about the phone. I guess that's a possibility.
You're such a pessimist.
I'm just, it's a possibility. I'm saying.
Where is the faith in your fellow human being?
I'm saying it's just a possibility.
Okay.
I'm not passing judgment. I'm just throwing out possible
I see what
scenarios.
you did there, by the way.
Passing
He wasn't
judgment,
passing the judgment
he
either.
wasn't passing the phone.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess that
I'm trying to find.
Is that a prison booty call?
I see what you did there, too.
You dial him up. It's a prison.
He kept calling. Hey, just call me. Was it set on vibrate? I mean, you'd expect it to be.
Wouldn't it be funny? It was like, baby got back.
But muffled.
And you're like, I don't hear anything.
I don't know what that is.
I don't hear anything. We didn't say anything. I'm just saying I didn't hear anything. If you heard something, I
heard
didn't.
nothing.
Sir Mix-a-Lot, I don't know who that is even. No, never heard of the guy.
Is that AC/DC?
Oh my God, Becky, look at that. Unless you've got fun.
I swear I heard. Well, I didn't
hear anything.
Didn't
Nothing
hear
at
a
all.
thing. It was the romaine lettuce. I swear it was.
Anyway, so that seems. What are you going to do with that?
I don't know, but whatchamacallit's right. It gives new meaning to butt dialing. Hey-ho.
Hey-ho.
I see.
Catherine,
hey-ho.
What's the point of having the phone in prison?
To reach the outside world?
Do you have a charger too? And do they have just plugs in the cell that you can just charge your phone? It sounds like more of a hassle.
A hassle. See what?
A hassle. Was it a burner phone? I got to believe when they removed it, it was.
Yes,
right?
Yeah, I don't imagine you'd want to use that after it was used. That's a good question because how would you charge? I guess you turn it off if you turned your phone off after each use. And maybe he was just using it for pictures. But was it like a 7 Plus or was it like one of the old flip phones?
One of the Zach Morris ones?
Oh.
Hang on. It's gonna. Okay, I got it.
Hold on. I'm dialing home.
Hang on. I don't want to drive. I don't want to drain my battery. Hold it. Okay, good.
Turn it off.
Okay.
Opening it is really harder than closing it. What was your phone number again? 1? Nope. Backspace. Oh.
Just going to send a text message. You've got a call from the Bullingdon Oxenfire UK prison. Lance.
No, you'd hear.
It's all muffled.
You got a call from the Oxenfire prison. Reginald. Hilarious. I had a friend call me like that one time, and I would pay huge money to have a copy of just that. Completely dejected. It's one of my favorite things.
You didn't save No, I guess it wouldn't have been saved because
it was
were
live.
That does
Some of you
suck.
may know that person. All right, I'm going to
Don't
take a
mention
quick
Bob's
break.
name.
Sorry, I promise. Edit that whole thing out. Edit it out. Quick break, back with more.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Mississippi voters deciding today whether to keep their appointed Republican U.S. Senator in Washington or elect a man who was a Clinton cabinet member.
President Trump in Biloxi urged his supporters to send Republican Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith back to Congress.
I need the great people of Mississippi to send a message to Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, the radical Democrats by electing Cindy.
With fake snow falling down and a Christmas motif, it was the second of 2 rallies for Hyde Smith, who's come under fire for a comment about a public hanging and wearing a Confederate hat replica.
I will continue to stand up for the conservative values of Mississippi.
Democratic candidate, former Agriculture Secretary Mike Espy and his supporters rallied last night at a church in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm Jackie Quinn.
After illegal immigrants in Tijuana rushed the U.S. border and hurled rocks at American Border Patrol agents who had to fire off tear gas, President Trump is talking about illegal immigration. He says that Democrats in charge would destroy America's health care system.
By inviting caravan after caravan after caravan of illegal aliens to violate our borders, overwhelming our communities, and bankrupting our treasury.
The president saying he wants to welcome immigrants, legal immigrants, to the United States. Interior Secretary Zinke says recovery from the destructive and deadly Northern California wildfire will likely end up costing billions of dollars. The death toll from the Camp Fire has now reached 88. On Wall Street this morning, Dow futures up 40 points, NASDAQ futures down 30. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American made and serve those who serve us, our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com, use promo code DOC, and get 15% off your purchase. That's neverforgottenapparel.com.
Doc Thompson, MoJo 50.
All right, here's the thing about shutting down the freeway. I don't care who you are. I don't care if I agree with you. I'm hitting you. I am running your ass over. I'm serious. You're on the freeway. And listen, prosecutors, if you want people prosecuted for running people over that are staging protests on highways, do not pick me to serve on your jury, because I don't care the circumstances. I don't care who's in the road for what protest reason. If you're in the highway, I am letting that person off. They could run the crowd over, back up, run them over again, get off at the next exit, loop around, and hit them again. And I am acquitting them. Sorry, were they on the highway? Sorry, you're free to go, sir. Have a good day, Mr. Staggs. You're free to go. I am not prosecuting you. I am not going to convict you for this stuff. If you don't want to be run over, don't walk in the highway. It's the highway!
Yes. Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us, our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
The mothership has landed.
All right, communiques coming in now via social media. It's at Doc Thompson Show, at Real Brad Staggs, and at MoJo 50 Radio. We like to use the hashtag What I Learned Today on Twitter, so get them in if deemed worthy by...
That's Ron Phillips. Ron Phillips
will include you in the show close. Also in the MeWe chat room, you could share some there, but that's the Wild West. Be warned. That's for the advanced level players.
Yeah, if you're new at this, novice, even an intermediate, we do not recommend the MeWe chat room.
You're gonna have to get your skills up because you got to dish it out and take it. That's how it works in the MeWe chat room. And of course, on Facebook, you can comment there. Brad Staggs is going to share some of those communiques now.
Those that he can share.
Sorry, I'm going through the sorting process at this moment.
I understand. The assorted.
TJ Toppin, after this segment, Doc and Brad won't need a bus anymore. Nobody will go anywhere with them. They might be able to take the Honda Fit. Yes, that's true too. That's probably too
good.
Liberty Hoosier J. So that must be why he spent a half hour dialing his own number in the lockup phone room. Yes, and
hi, it's Reggie. I'm not available right now.
You sound muffled. I can't understand you. Put the phone closer to your mouth. No. MoJo Jedi, phone is the butt, and I feel like a Patriot Mobile ad is coming soon.
Listen, that's a great point. I hadn't thought about that. But if you are going to have a butt phone in prison, I cannot recommend enough having a Patriot Mobile butt phone in prison with Patriot Mobile service.
Yeah.
Well, and here's why. Because of BOGO.
I was going to say you could give one of your fellow inmates a phone.
Don't you, if you're in prison, wouldn't you enjoy a good BOGO?
I would think so.
Do you have the money to waste on two?
No.
No, you want to buy one and get one. And that's what they have right now at patriotmobile.com/doc. You go there, you buy a line, you get a line. So really what you could have, Brad, you could have a butt phone and your cellmate could have a butt phone.
The communication would be interesting to hear because you'd I can't understand you either.
Yorkshire pudding.
Put the phone closer to your mouth.
See, that's right there. Right there. Let's say I'm an inmate. And I want to make a call. And I'm like, I can't make a call. I'm going to make a call out there. Brad, my buddy Brad, fellow inmate. Hey, you have a phone, right?
I do.
Yeah, can I use that?
Absolutely.
Where is it?
Hang on just a second.
Oh,
here you go. Here you go.
That's
take it.
No,
just
it's okay.
take it.
I realized it's not that. It's just my dad's dying. It's okay. I'm sure I'll just see him in the afterlife. I don't have to call him.
After he's dead.
Right. This way, you could go, sure, you could have it, or why don't you just get your own phone?
Yes.
I'll just give you my BOGO. I'll buy one, you get one.
Much easier, much easier. And at the same time, you're supporting all of those causes outside the prison that are actually doing some good.
And look at the great deals on cell service, and the coverage is amazing. I don't know if they
better than it is in prison.
The Bullingdon Auctionfordshire prison, but they may.
There's a shot.
Listen, if any phone does, any service does, it's going to be patriotmobile.com/doc. So if you're interested, I mean, as an outsider or an inmate, I would say just go to patriotmobile.com/doc or dial 800-A-PATRIOT. That's 800-A-PATRIOT, and you're going to, they'll fix you right up there.
Do not use promo code inmate. That will get you nothing.
No, that's not going to help you at all.
It will not help you even.
Although maybe we should talk to him.
It would be kind of fun.
Yeah. It would be funny if they
change it to
promo code
inmate. It to Taint Tickler.
No, that's my login name.
Don't give everyone my password.
Come on,
hello.
Man. Jeez, Ron.
And now, the totally acceptable racist joke of the day.
We haven't been nearly troubling enough yet today. Hashtag acceptable racist joke OTD. A white guy goes to his doctor and he says, listen, doc, every time I have sex, my eyes hurt. Every time I have sex, my eyes hurt. So the doctor did a bunch of tests on him and says to the white guy, he says, listen, well, we figured out what's causing your eyes to hurt each time you have sex. The pepper spray.
This has been the totally acceptable racist joke of the day.
See, he's raping people. That's
it's
a rape joke.
Right,
too.
it is a.
That is totally unacceptable, right there.
Oh boy, I almost passed out just then. That was whew.
It's the pepper spray. Your eyes hurt every time I have sex. I don't understand. It's
breathe.
I keep getting pepper sprayed. So, because
are we?
You understand why
just
that works,
on.
right?
Hello.
You understand?
Why? It's a white guy. Yes, it's a white guy. Yes,
and they are known to be
rapists.
Rapists. I mean,
absolutely.
Look at that Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, a serial rapist, as a matter of fact.
And you notice during his hearing, what did he do?
Oh, he cried. There were tears, and it was because
I think it's pepper spray flashback from the rape train.
Of course it was. Of course it was. I mean, we all know that.
All right. So if you would like to share that, I'll go ahead and tweet that out daily now. And it's hashtag acceptable racist joke OTD.
May even include a video feature of this one. We'll see.
Okay, good.
We'll see how it all works
that just got tweeted out there. So join us. Hey, speaking of racism.
Yes.
There's some things that have been deemed racist now.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Like Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Brad, you're going to have to help me with this one because I did not see the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I didn't see any installment of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's supposedly racist, and they said it's, and this is why I need your help. Are there a bunch of black folk jokes?
Well, no, there aren't. There are not a bunch of black folk jokes.
Are there a bunch of cracking wise about the Asians?
No, there are no.
Are they
no
mocking anybody by race, like as jokes or?
No,
that's
no.
Okay,
nope.
Because they say it's racist, and they say it's racist based on the orcs. There's prejudice against orcs. What is an? You're gonna have to tell me what's an orc.
I think the orcs were the little.
No. What's an orc?
$20, same as downtown.
Yes. Now, what is an orc from the Lord of the Rings trilogy?
That would be the little. I think they're like elves that live underground. They. I think that's, if my memory serves, and I have had several alcoholic beverages since the time I read those books, but I believe that that's what it is. Ron, do you remember the orcs? Not Nanu, but the orcs from Lord of the Rings.
They say that, according to one critic, he says that J.R.R. Tolkien.
JS.
Depicted creatures like orcs, trolls, and goblins as intrinsically evil, which shows racism. He said it's hard to miss the repeated notion that some races are just worse than others. I mean, Brad, and here's the problem. Let's say you're a young orc in America today.
Yes. Yeah.
And you see this movie not realizing that they're just... that this is fiction based.
Right. Yes.
That you're like, oh my gosh, I'm an orc and therefore I am intrinsically evil.
You see, the problem with that would be that orcs don't really exist.
What do you mean?
It's a fiction. It's a work of fiction that the author came up with. And, well, that doesn't mean they're not based on
orcs
They aren't real.
Oh, thank God.
They're not real.
But that's fine. But what about the young troll children or the young goblins?
Well,
and they go see it and they're like, oh my gosh, I know this is fiction, but I can't help but feel like all goblins. Is that me? Am I intrinsically evil?
This is going to come as a shock to a lot of folks, but trolls aren't real, except on Twitter. But trolls,
the goblin children, though, when they're out there seeing the movie, that's racism.
There are no goblin children, although I've seen some ugly babies.
So that means this is all fiction.
Yeah. The Lord of the Rings trilogy is it's a work of fiction, you see.
Wow.
Precious.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, that makes this whole thing seem like crap then.
Doesn't it, though?
This whole claim of racism.
Doesn't it, though? It's It's racism under every rock is what it is. It's racism under every rock.
Wow. Those are some strong words, Brad. Those are some strong words about racism. Are you prepared to back those up? That it's under every rock?
I will back that up.
Okay.
It's under every rock.
Because I have another story about racism.
Okay.
Something else that is absolutely racist.
All right.
I don't know if you're prepared to hear this or not.
Should I sit down?
You should. Please sit down.
I'm already sitting.
Okay.
All right.
Peanut butter and jelly. Racism.
What?
Racist.
What? What? How is peanut butter and jelly racist?
How is it not? Aha! How about that? Prove that it's not.
It's racist until I prove that it's not racist.
Yes, exactly. You guys know that now. Show me. You've got 10. What do you want? 2 minutes. Go. Show me it's not racist. Go.
Because it's not. It's just not.
Sorry, that's not getting it done.
Crunchy or not racist.
You're just saying
there's nothing racist about
everything is racist until you prove it's not. That's the world we live in. You're not doing a very good job. I think ladies and gentlemen, Brad Staggs and
it is
Ron just proved that it's racist by not proving or by not disproving it's racist.
But it's not. There's nothing. I mean, there's nothing racist about peanut butter and jelly.
Please tell me they give an answer as to why they think it's racist.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, this is out from a few years ago, and now it's making its way around again because apparently not enough people got it. This started a few years ago in Portland, Oregon.
That explains it.
Yes, it does.
And I think this is a school board member from the Harvey Scott K-8 school.
Oh, that racist bastion.
Said that it's racist because they're assuming when they put out any type of information like peanut butter and jelly as a standard, you're denying other students who may not have had peanut butter jelly as part of a staple growing up. Now that we assume that all kids like peanut butter and jelly, but that's white kids.
But
they said, for example, they said, what about Somali or Hispanic kids who might not eat sandwiches?
Bring the damn lunch money. That's what I'm saying. If you don't bring lunch money, you get a sandwich.
They're not saying they have to eat them, but if they put out there as a standard, either as an example or on the menu, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, they're like, what about Somali students? So they say, quote, another way would be to say, Americans eat peanut butter and jelly. Do you have anything like that? Let them tell you maybe they eat torta or pita. Instead of just saying American eats peanut butter and jelly.
Or the Somali equivalent, dirt and bugs.
Listen, in my family, we don't eat peanut butter and jelly. We don't eat that. We just we don't. That's disgusting.
Okay.
We have rocks. I mean, when we're kids, we have small rocks. It's
dirt and fly sandwiches.
And then there's the delicacy, twigs. We get those not as often, but every once in a while come across something like that.
I know the school sent a letter out that said, look, if you don't bring your lunch money, we don't have tortas and we don't have pitas. We have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Racist, right there.
Bring your lunch money or
Prove
eat
it's
a sandwich.
not.
That's right.
Prove it's not. You only get twigs on Saturdays.
Some people had some strong comments. Someone said, what's the verdict on grilled cheese? Racist or sexist? And then someone else mentioned all sandwiches are racist. It's the name sandwich. The poor tortas are discriminated against.
Oh, I want to tell that joke so badly.
Rob Cowie at the time, who was the communications director for Portland Schools, said that the district was on board with those comments. They supported. Rob said, Rob with 2 B's, by the way.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So you know that's going to be a swell fella right there. He said, persistently, we have not done a good enough job educating students of color, and specifically African-American students. That's what this program is addressing. How can we find ways to support African-American students, their families, so that we are producing better outcomes and narrowing the achievement gap when we just basically assume that everybody has the same experiences and eats the same foods?
Wow. I feel like a dog staring at a ceiling fan.
Right. So
so
there you go. Racist. More racial, racist. Right there.
You know, I have a question. Would they let the white kids get a torta or a pita?
Well, no.
See?
What's a pita?
Well, no. $20, same as downtown, and that's why, Ron. No, they wouldn't let them get it because that's cultural appropriation.
Exactly.
Right. But if you don't get one as a child, that means you're being racist because you're not being appreciative of other cultures.
Would you eat my pita?
Yes.
How much is on the table?
Ron jumped in there pretty quickly.
No, he was
Looks like I got a date for Saturday night.
I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking. I don't know.
So just to clarify,
I get most of my dates.
If you do not eat the torta or the pita, you are racist.
Apparently so.
Because you are not willing to try, and if you're just living in your own little PB&J world, you racist. Now, if you do try the torta or the pita, you are racist because you are culturally appropriating something that is not yours. You stick to your PB&J. But do not talk about the peanut butter and jelly or assume that everybody has an experience with peanut butter and jelly. Okay, do you got it?
I think
Back to my original statement, peanut butter and jelly is racist, and you cannot prove otherwise.
No, at this point, no. You're right.
How do you feel now? Do you have any comments on that?
My head hurts. This is all getting so stupid.
What do you mean?
When do the scales start to tip the other way? Is that what that's what we're doing here?
That's it. We are tipping the scales.
Point. We are the tipping point of the scale because this has reached a point of critical mass. This is absolute absurdity. And I can't help but think that the people who believe that situation is racism are mentally ill. They're deranged. They're off their rocker. They need meds.
Sad that you'd say that, but
they're crazy people.
I understand that's coming from a racist, so okay.
Take your rock and bug sandwiches and go home. And eat your twigs on Saturdays.
And how dare you cast aspersions on the joy, the wonder, the goodness that is peanut butter and jelly.
I love peanut butter and jelly.
Awesome.
But crunchy or creamy?
No, that's what I'm telling you. They ought to give them options. Crunchy or creamy, strawberry or grape, white or wheat.
If you like
That's it.
If you like it creamy, you're nuts.
I like it always. I like PB&J just about any way you can give it to me.
Crunchy is the way to go.
It depends on what mood I'm in. Toasted or not.
Toasted bread?
Yeah.
Oh, toasted. That's good. Have you ever had peanut butter and jelly with cheese?
I'm out.
What? Have you never had peanut butter and jelly with cheese on
Rod,
it?
I'm out.
What?
Have you ever had a fluffernutter?
You're willing.
No, I have not, but somebody said that they were really good.
You're willing to eat my pita, but you won't have peanut butter and jelly with cheese?
Ron, I'm gonna
look. Would I try it? Absolutely.
I'm gonna help you with the fluffernutter.
Yeah,
you are.
I'm gonna help out. I'll get Chef Patrick on it. My first fluffernutter was from Chef Patrick.
Was it?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
It's fantastic.
You went back for seconds?
Oh yeah, I would have a fluffernutter every day if I could.
Really?
Yeah, they're tasty. Yeah,
Are they really?
Very enjoyable experience.
Really?
Well, Chef Patrick is gentle.
Yeah, he does have soft hands, so when,
he's quick because I might want a second.
Okay, yeah, we'll get him on that. That's a good one.
Okay.
When a teenager from Iran joined some students at Stoke High School, this is in Ipswich, a small county town of Suffolk, England.
Mm-hmm.
When he joined, this is a teenager from Iran, ended up in school there.
Yeah.
Some students and parents immediately noticed something odd about the young boy.
What was it?
Well, the 15-year-old boy was 6'1", had stubble, a large Adam's apple, and a receding hairline.
So you're saying he was mature for his age?
Yeah, he was 30 or more. Not 15.
That can be a problem. That can be a problem, yes.
Yeah. So, again, 15-year-old boy starts to school. He's 15 and 6'1". You know that sometimes.
Yes.
Stubble.
Maybe.
Large Adam's apple, receding hairline. Again, all added up, you're like, huh.
Could be a problem.
Guy's got lower back pain and a mortgage. Wow, he may not be 15.
And a 98 Buick LeSabre.
Right, exactly.
And 3 other kids.
May not. So some of the parents objected to this, said you need to check into this. And when they found out that he was not 15, and the parents objected to that and said, this guy's got to go, right?
Yes.
They called the parents racist.
How is it not racist?
That's my point.
How is it not
racist? Right?
Exactly.
You know, I'm just saying, maybe I don't want the 30-year-old dude around my kids at school.
Racist.
You know.
Racist.
That's racist.
Yes.
They said, it may just be that you're saying that because he's Iranian. So you don't like the Middle Easterners, and you're just hiding behind the fact that he is
exactly right.
Double the age he's supposed to be. For example, right? Let me.
Yeah.
Let's say a kid pretends to be 7 in school, maybe 8 in school.
All right.
Okay. And you find out they're double the age.
No, so they're like 15
or 16. Yeah,
okay,
they're double.
Right.
They're still going to allow them in school, aren't they?
Quick math, yeah.
Right? Aren't they going to still be in school?
They're good. Yes, they would still be in school at that point.
But you find out he's not 15 and he's double the age, and you're not allowed in school. Racist.
How is it not racist?
That's what you got to remember.
That's
when
it.
somebody claims racism today, you have to answer the question. You. The onerous is on you to prove it.
Yeah.
And according to the parents who went and complained, one parent said, I went in to complain, but I was fobbed off. I think that means like blown off. I just realized both of those are questionable. The parent said they are deluded and seem more worried about how the bloke might feel. Bloke is like kid, the man.
It's not a body part.
No, they're worried about him.
Right. Yeah.
Instead of my kids.
Right.
Another parent said, I'm not aware of the lad having done anything inappropriate, but it's clearly wrong that he should be in class with children.
Which is it? Is he a lad or a bloke?
I think he's both. Well, are you a racist or not? That's how you determine.
Are you still a racist?
Yeah. So, well, you've used bloke, I think.
Right. Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, racist if he's not allowed in school.
Again, racism under every rock.
Now, some parents objected and said it's not so much his race, it's that he's 30 and he's been texting our 14-year-old daughter.
Well, that could be it.
And FaceTiming with her and possibly sexting. But again, if you...
Racist.
That's my
point.
So, yep.
That's all you have. You're right.
Now, if... and they've had this problem before because they have a lot of immigrants.
Racist.
And those immigrants don't often have proper documentation. See, we assume if you go, okay, well, you want to immigrate even here legally to America, and you go, okay, we need to show your birth certificate. See, a lot of these foreign countries are poor, and they didn't have proper birth certificates and such. So
you can't ask them for any sort of documentation because that would be racist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
how is it not racist?
That's what you have to remember.
How is it not racist?
I think we've done some good here today, Brad. I think we've accomplished some things. If you want to do more good, go to charitymagnets.com. That's charitymagnets.com. Brad, what can people find at charitymagnets.com?
We know right off the top of my head, I could say they'd find magnets that actually benefit a charity.
Well, that's one hell of a name then.
It's
very smart marketing on their part.
It's very fortuitous that they chose the name Charity Magnets.
And fortunate.
Yes, it is. It's both of those.
Fortuitous and fortunate.
This happens to be one hold in my hand right here. This is about 4 inches by 3 inches. Measured by a guy.
Like 6-7 inches.
Yeah, it could be 8 or 9 inches square. This is a Salute Our Heroes, Support Law Enforcement, Honor and Integrity 2018 charity magnet. You can buy a magnet such as this. This is your typical, I would think you would call this a refrigerator magnet.
You can put that on your car, though, too.
You could put it on your car. They also have magnets that look stunningly like badges.
Badges?
We don't need no stinking badges. But actually, you do need these because when you buy these, not only are you getting a stunning looking magnet, but it is also benefiting a charity. In this case, I believe part of it goes to...
it's Cops for Kids with Cancer.
Right.
Charity Magnets designs, produces all of these beautiful high quality products. As Brad described a couple of them. They have a keychain as well for law enforcement supporters and enthusiasts. Because, as we know, it goes beyond even just cops. It's firefighters and first responders and corrections officers, members of the military, private citizens, just people you want to honor in the law enforcement type category. It's helping others who have helped you, supporting them, and then helping cops help kids with cancer.
And the one
each sale, a donation is made to Cops for Kids with Cancer.
The one that I was really impressed with, because we had them in here on Black Friday, it's the 2019 gold-plated license plate honor badge.
Oh, that's right.
That thing, not only it had some weight to it, and you can secure this to your license plate, and it shows that you're supporting law enforcement as well.
And by the way, Charity Magnets has 2019 editions on sale right now. There's new ones designed for 2019.
Very cool.
That are on sale right now at the website. Just go to charitymagnets.com.
A free exchange of ideas. MoJo 50.
Wow. Hey, guys, Ron Phillips from the Conservative Cartel. I want to tell you about a new weight loss product that's quickly becoming part of our MoJo 50 family. Okay, so it was launched by this Texas company who have taken the good stuff in olive oil and created a patented product that helps people control their appetite and lose weight. That's right. It's also a big help to keep the weight off. In a 6-year study of former contestants from The Biggest Loser, you remember that show? It showed that when you lose weight, your body actually thinks something bad has happened and it fights back by slowing your metabolism and boosting your appetite. Rid-U-Zone, that's R-I-D-U Zone, contains a patented ingredient that has been shown to boost metabolism and reduce appetite while helping you burn fat. If you are struggling every day with cravings, try Rid-U-Zone. It makes it so much easier to control your appetite and not think about food all day. That's my problem. For a short time, we have a 30% off deal for our show. Just go to riduzone.com and enter code MATT. That's M-A-T-T. Again, that's riduzone.com. R-I-D-U-Z-O-N-E.com. Rid-U-Zone.
We've arrived.
What do you mean?
We've hit the big time.
What are you talking about?
I didn't tell you. We're live on MoJo 50 now.
Oh, that. I could have sworn they were just pulling a fast one on us.
Either that or someone at the top has had a mild stroke. Regardless, we now have to make a promo.
Okay, well, that seems simple enough. How long does this have to be?
I was told that we need to take about 60 seconds or so and tell everyone about ourselves.
All right. I was born in a blizzard in the bleak hours of the morning in November.
No, I don't think we need to go back quite that far.
All right, then. I'm Steven.
And I'm Dylan, and we're hosts of the Defenders of American Exceptionalism,
or DOAE show for short.
And we are live Wednesdays and Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern on MoJo 50.
We go through the politics of today and how it affects the culture and vice versa. And we try to bring it back to the Constitution and the principles above privilege.
You know, I feel like there should be a shirt made with that on it.
Yeah, we already have that.
Oh, so don't forget to check us out. Defenders of American Exceptionalism live Wednesdays and Saturday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern on MoJo 50.
Communiques now coming in via social media. Get them into us. It's at Doc Thompson Show, at Real Brad Staggs, and at MoJo 50 Radio. Hashtag what I learned today.
MoJo Jedi learned Brad will let you eat his pita. How much will that cost? Simple. $20. Same as downtown. Oklahoma Tomcat says, I guess I am racist against all races. I do not eat sandwiches, pitas, or tacos. What the hell do you eat? What else is there?
I was like, does anything else exist?
No. So Oklahoma Tomcat will be.
Oh, candy bars. All candy bars. That's the only other food out there.
Yeah, that's true. M&M's. I forgot about that.
Well, that's a candy bar.
See here. Liberty Hoosier J. After that, no black lights are going to be allowed on the bus. And on the bus, we are, the big bus will be driving across the country. And no, there will be no black lights. We will not be checking anything with luminol.
No, there will not be black lights, but there will be a disco ball.
Yes, there will be.
We're picking him up in California, right as we take off. So he'll be with us the whole time.
And see, Pika Pool, the mercenary jackhole. So I have Jif and strawberry racism in my bag for lunch today. Racism.
It's so. Listen, racism is tasty.
But
here's the thing. You know what tastes even better than racism?
What's that?
Hate. Let me hear. Right, ready?
Right. Yep.
Chick-fil-A.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Which tastes better to you, racism or hate? That's a tough call.
That is a tough.
It really depends on my mood. I mean, sometimes I'm like, just a big bite of racism.
Give me some fried up hate.
But, right?
I know. You're right.
That's
tough. And that's a decision you have to make on a daily basis.
I know. All day you're like, racism or hate, racism or hate with that. Because
they're both so good.
Because, Chick-fil-A is all about the hate.
Oh, yeah, of course they are. Everybody knows that.
It's the hate that makes it. That's the secret ingredient.
And
you take somebody else, you take any other chicken place, you add a little more hate.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to finally be able to compete with Chick-fil-A.
All you got to do is look in the lines that wrap around the building at Chick-fil-A, and it's full of white folk.
They love their hate.
Just hating.
They do.
I mean, just hating on the gays and the blacks and the Mexicans and the everybody.
Mostly the gays.
Mostly the gays. So yeah. You're right. It's just it really is, especially when you dip the hate in that one sauce they have.
Oh, the Chick-fil-A sauce. So much hate. So much hate.
Dripping.
Oh, my gosh.
Dripping with hate.
Wow. That's practically a currency for me.
Oh, yeah.
It is at my house. My wife and I started hoarding the stuff. She's like, you have any Chick-fil-A sauce around it? No. No, what do you mean? I thought you had a couple. No,
you didn't see
ate them all.
This is not the sauce you're looking for.
This is not. Do not look in the back of that drawer over there. Do not do it. Like a lot of people hide pornographic material from their spouses. No, whatever. For me, it's Chick-fil-A sauce.
You reach a certain age and you're pretty much, you end up hiding the sauce from your spouse.
Right, that's what it is. You're like this. Oh, yeah, no. She's like, what is that? Is that Chick-fil-A sauce in there that you're hiding? No, it's just pornography.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. As long as it's not Chick-fil-A sauce.
As long as it's just some really disgusting, particularly disturbing pornography. As long as it's that and not Chick-fil-A sauce.
As long as it's a 1978 Hustler. Boy, those
the
were
double
bad.
meat issue.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of food, Brad, I saw a video. I think it was of you this morning. Ron?
Yeah.
Ron
Phillips. Yeah.
Ron played it for me, and it was of you on a horse or something, but I didn't believe it was you because the person was, how can I say this?
Young.
Young, but even more so, they were thin.
Unhealthily thin, actually.
Wait, what?
Do you know? Was that
you?
I was much shorter then too.
Because you look a lot thinner and healthier.
Life eventually catches up with you, and you see, all it takes is that one ketchup packet over the course of time. One ketchup packet a day packs on the pounds.
Brad was 8.5 feet tall in that video.
I was.
His weight hasn't changed.
No,
he's just shrunk.
I have shrunk. You do shrink over time. But here's the thing. Gaining weight is easy. Losing it, that's hard.
Until now.
And
that's where RidUZone comes in. RidUZone's a very cool product. Great people, too. You want to talk about a cool company? These are people that came up with a great idea, capitalists, for some stuff that already existed. It was one of those almost not even failed product that they just didn't take to market. See, there were failed products out there that had patents like the glue and Post-it notes. Did you know that was a failed glue?
Yeah, it was supposed to be really sticky and unable to get it
and
off.
They came up with the formula for it, and they're like, this is a glue that doesn't work. Doesn't actually keep stuff stuck together.
See?
Put it on the shelf. And then someone came up with the idea for Post-it notes, the glue, boom, and done. That's what they did. They did the research at the University of California and said, we've got this molecule, OEA is the abbreviation for it, that we found out in concentrated amounts, it actually shows an impact on getting people to lose weight or helping people lose weight because it makes you feel fuller, so you eat less, but it also boosts your metabolism. And they had a patent for it and everything, but they weren't taking it to market or anything. It was just on a shelf, essentially. Yeah. So the RidUZone folks, before it was a company, are like, oh my gosh, this is a gold mine. They don't know it. Morons. Don't tell them. You know, we'd take that off your hands for you.
We'll take it. And they did. And now you can get it.
I don't know that's how it exactly went down with them, but I think it did. That's what I would have been. Brad, if this stuff works. Oh my gosh, this is good. Let's try some. Oh my gosh,
I say we stick with it.
You know, well, you guys aren't going to do it anyways. You know, come on.
You don't want this stuff. Here's the thing. It is a tool that you can put in your toolbox because what you need is when you're trying to lose weight, it's tough to do it by yourself. You need every bit of help you can get, and this is one of those things that helps you feel full and helps your metabolism kind of speed up a little bit. Because what they've also discovered is that if you're exercising to lose weight, as the older you get, and this is nature's cruel joke, the older you get, exercise can actually tend to make your metabolism slow down, which really sucks. So if this is something that can get your metabolism up there and help you feel full at the same time, it's about what goes in. It's the garbage in, garbage out.
Well, not just that, Brad. It's part of it is about calories. That's the whole thing. And if you are trying to exercise yourself to burn enough calories for this, forget it. I first discovered this. You know, I was at a pretty high metabolism and being tall. That I was like you, same thing. I was very thin.
Yeah.
And then in your late 20s and 30s, you notice you put on a couple of pounds.
Yeah.
And then a couple more.
It's the ketchup packet.
So like 15, 20 years ago, I'm like, you know what? I gotta drop a few pounds here. I really put it on. So I decided to start running on the treadmill. Down a little workout facility underneath the station I worked at. We had a gym down there.
How'd that work out for you?
It was great. Brad, I was running like 4 miles and I walk a couple on the treadmill and I look and I'm like, wow, I put in an hour workout in this thing and I have burned 641 calories for an hour.
It's a cookie and a half.
Right.
Yeah.
I ate more than that on the way down here.
Yes. Yep. Yeah,
seriously.
You barely worked off your travel cookie.
Right. And I'm like, there's got to be a less food taken in part of the equation.
Yes.
So
yes, it's all about you have to expend more energy than you are taking in to lose weight. It's simple math.
So take in a little bit less and make it easy on yourself with RidUZone at RidUZone.com. RidUZone.com. Guess who got a visit from the Secret Service?
Ooh, who?
Take a stab.
Come on, I know you have. Let's see.
Yes, I have been visited by the Secret Service.
Not Hillary Clinton.
No. Somebody who doesn't like President Trump.
Kathy Griffin?
No, but that's a good guess. Those are good guesses. This one's down the list a little bit, but when I say it, you're going to go, oh, yep, there it is.
Who
do you want to get a visit from? I so wish it was Alyssa Milano cookies. It was not.
That would be nice.
No.
And it's not Rosie, and it's
Nope.
not Kathy. Because those are the three that
Those
really
would be
come
up
out.
the top of the list.
Tom
Arnold.
Did he really?
Yes.
Wait a minute, though. He's doing the people's work. He's finding the Trump racist tapes.
Yes, he is. But he also had some questionable communiques.
Aha.
Mm-hmm. He says that, and he's been, very, very critical of the president and just,
in a very stable, non-emotional way, too.
No, it's incredibly emotional.
Yeah,
It's been really emotional for him. So what he suggested is, and I want to make sure I get this right, that the president be stabbed.
Well, that certainly seems like
Or
it might
could
be
be.
a mistake if you suggest that the president of the United States get stabbed. I don't think I wouldn't recommend you
I'm
ever
trying to get the
suggest
actual.
that. But it does sound like something that Tom Arnold might say.
Fist fight.
Ah, okay. Even that, not good.
Yeah, he said, I say put up or shut up at real Donald Trump. Me versus you for America. He said, first body slam wins any rally, anytime between now and the midterms. Hashtag Friday feeling.
If the two of them were in the ring, I might put my money on Donald Trump.
I put my money on Trump.
He's a big guy.
Here's the thing. You should, just based on stature, physical size, all of that stuff, you should put your money on Tom Arnold.
Is he a big guy?
No, he's just much younger.
Oh, well.
And Trump's got a little paunch and stuff now or whatever. But this is not one. Trump is, and I'm not in the tank for Trump, and I'm telling you, that guy's going to win. He may fight dirty. He may shiv you. I don't know where the shiv came from. The guy fell on something as we were doing. I mean, he is going to win.
He'll find a way to win.
Trump is ahead of time going to make sure I can win this thing, get his people on it. Somehow he will stack the deck.
Yeah.
So when he goes into that ring, Tom Arnold's going to go all there. I could kick his ass or whatever. Oh, where'd that shiv come from? Right?
Although I don't think Tom Arnold would go in completely clean himself. So,
I think he would.
You do?
Not because he's honorable, because he's stupid.
He doesn't seem like the brightest bulb on the tree.
Right. He would cheat. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
It's just he's not smart enough to cheat in this scenario.
He did marry Roseanne Barr at one point.
It is.
Yeah.
Because remember, we're not talking about Marcus of Queensberry rules.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Or even Marcus of Kingsbury rules. Either one.
I would, yeah. And
or even
right.
Marky Mark of the Funky Bunch rules.
He's seen Roseanne Barr naked, so it's
irretrievably stupid.
Yeah, at that point, that's kind of like Medusa.
Right. See, you may say, okay, or I may say, okay, I'm going to go and fight the president.
Right.
I'm heading out there now. One of us is going to say to the other, are you sure the guy's not going to cheat and pull out a knife or something?
Right.
Oh, I better take something just in case. So I would want to be honorable.
Right.
This is classic Doc Thompson. I would want to be honorable and say, no, Brad, I'm going to go ahead and go in clean to make sure. And you'd suggest somebody else is likely to cheat. And you know what I would say? I will go in armed, but I will not use it, will not display it unless they do. That's what I would. So I would go in prepared, but try to go in there clean.
So what you're saying is
hedge my bet.
Expect the best, be prepared for the worst.
Yes, that's exactly right.
That's smart. See, that is smart.
So, yeah, he gets a visit from the Secret Service, and there is audio. I think this is from his house. There is a camera angle really, really high mounted in what looks like his living room, and there's audio. So Tom Arnold records everything. Did he know they were coming? See, when they visited me at the radio station, they just showed up. They didn't say, let's schedule an appointment for 4 o'clock tomorrow.
Right. Well,
okay, if you know they're coming, maybe you put up a video, but you have security, I have security, but it's not running 24/7 with audio in the middle of the day.
But maybe it is motion activated, so maybe by the sheer fact that they walked into the room, it kicked on.
Okay, I'll give you that.
And he has
not crazy, but interesting.
Yeah.
So I have some of the audio, and here they are sitting in the room there. Now, think about how aggressive Tom Arnold has been, right?
He's
talking a lot of smack, right?
Oh, yes.
And by the way, also a quick little side note interjection here. I think it's outrageous that the Secret Service would come and visit you, even if you threaten to kill the president. In other words,
it's their job.
No, I mean, it's illegal to threaten to kill the president.
Right.
Why is it illegal? That's clearly a First Amendment violation. Now, if they want to investigate to see if it is a serious threat,
right,
I'll give you that.
Okay.
Because you're just going to you investigate. Hey, let's see that's true. But beyond basic investigation, come on, guys. I should be able to threaten. And what Tom said about I challenged him to a fist fight doesn't even fall into the level of threat. That was a challenge. It's outrageous that Tom Arnold got a visit from the Secret Service.
You'd think they would have better things to do, especially it's Tom Arnold.
What? Yeah, come on. The guy's a pussy. Let's be honest. When I threatened to kill George W. Bush, and it wasn't Obama, it wasn't even me threatening to kill him.
Right.
I said the guy ought to be shot. I didn't say I was going to do it. That's even far worse than what Tom said. Tom challenged him.
How is that not racist?
There it is.
See?
So,
just practicing.
I actually stand with Tom that it's ridiculous that they showed up at his house or he would even question this or whatever. But having said that, let's go to the audio.
These racist things on his show, and I've seen it because my buddies do his show. I said, well, at least show the country what he's really like, and that's sort of what my show is about.
Okay, well, so full disclosure.
Anyway, full disclosure.
We're not the First Amendment police. You're free to say.
No, I can't. I just want to get a little back.
So we're, when we go out on these interviews, we let people know, like, look, you're free to say whatever you want.
Oh, I hear you.
No boundaries. Once a certain line that's crossed.
Of course, and I respect. I completely.
Of course, I completely respect that. Of course, we're not the First Amendment police. Well, you kind of are, guys. Tom Arnold challenge. Do you really think about this? Come on. Is Tom Arnold a serious threat to Donald Trump?
No.
To physically harm him?
No.
He threatened, challenged the president to a fist fight. That's nutty. That's crazy. Do you really believe Tom Arnold is going to go and get some sort of weapon or put him in a position where he could actually assassinate the president? Yeah. Is he going to do that? As crazy as he is, he's still a big puss about stuff on top of that.
Yeah.
And would he be able to get to the president? Come on. So really, you are kind of the First Amendment police.
Well, the thing is that if anybody would be able to get to the president, someone like Tom Arnold would.
How?
Being a celebrity, being in the media, sort of.
Really, anybody that meets the president, celebrity or not, you just get to walk up?
Well, he's more likely than Joe Blumenthal.
Yes, but they still
from Cincinnati.
Why is he so shiny? Rick Blumenthal, Dick Blumenthal?
Yeah, that one.
From Connecticut?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. No, here's the thing. Everybody goes through security.
Yeah, but in this case, Tom Arnold didn't threaten to use a weapon. He threatened his fists. So he's always got his fist with him. So
please. So silly.
This may be the Secret Service playing straight into Tom Arnold getting content for his show. What's the name of his show? I'm proving Trump is a racist or something like that. It's some
The Hunt for the Trump Tapes.
That's it. Yeah, The Hunt for the Trump Tapes, which
he says he has, yet it's called The Hunt for the Trump Tapes.
Right, yeah.
Meaning
it's
the name says he doesn't
don't think about it. Don't think about it.
So there's a little bit more. So you hear how sure, at some point you cross the line. What is the line that you cross? Mm-hmm. We're not the First Amendment police, but at some point you cross the line.
Mm-hmm.
What's the line?
I don't know. Yeah, you're free to say whatever you want, but
you can't say those things.
Say whatever you want, except that.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah,
you can say
really
whatever you
want,
just not certain things.
Which is a contradiction in
terms. Okay, a little bit more. Here we go.
Look, you're free to say whatever you want.
Oh, I hear you.
No boundaries. Once a certain line that's crossed.
Of course, and I respect. I completely.
So, in your type of case, what we're concerned with a lot too is the audience it could reach.
Absolutely.
Somebody to
I did see a crazy reaction to it from people that because I get a lot of death threats. I mean, I get.
Okay, so you see the problem from the Secret Service's perspective.
Is yes,
what's the problem?
He could be cheerleading some wackadoodle from Indianapolis that takes Tom Arnold's advice. That would be truly wacko, and takes his advice and goes and tries to beat up the president.
See, here's the problem there. How am I responsible for other people's actions?
Well, exactly.
As soon as you allow even a bit of that,
Right.
You end up on the slippery slope where there's no stopping.
How is it not racist?
There it is.
See.
So I could say, hey, would you hand me that pen?
Sure.
And
Here's
Brad then today goes and blows up a school full of children and says, well, Doc asked me for a pen this morning.
Right.
And I say that has nothing to do with it, whatever. It doesn't matter. You assume that. And although that's an extreme of when would that ever happen, it's the slippery slope. It's incremental.
Right.
It is not my responsibility to control you if I say something. It's not my responsibility to make sure that my words didn't have a certain effect on you. If you are somebody that defends that, you're also defending people's reaction to being offended by stuff. See, people on the right could get suckered into heading down this road, Brad.
Yes.
Of saying, well, there's just certain things you shouldn't say. No. If I shouldn't say them, the responsibility is on you and how you react to what I say. I cannot control you. I can only control me. And because there is a perception, how we hear things, assume, and process things, I could say virtually nothing, and you could claim that triggered you to do anything.
But isn't this exactly what CNN and those outlets accuse the president of, inciting violence in other people, by that other people use his words and are out committing acts of violence in the name of the president? Isn't that exactly what the Secret Service is accusing Tom Arnold of? And Tom Arnold is agreeing with him. So how can Tom Arnold then go out and say anything? Because he's just agreed to the whole Trump defense. The basically you use hateful words and you're inspiring hate in other people.
So he's being a bit hypocritical there.
Yes.
That's a great point.
It seems like he would be.
Well, and we pointed that out before. The problem is the people on the left hear stuff like that and they say, well, there's just some things that are so hateful that we're fighting hate with hate.
But then
That's hypocritical.
Tom Arnold would then take the position of the Secret Service of, well, you're free to say anything, but then you cross a certain line.
Right.
But then they never define the line.
It's
a line that moves.
Right. I do not support this claim that your First Amendment rights end when you scream fire in a crowded theater that causes people to panic and then flee and then get hurt
in the process.
Right, in the process. They're not limited there as far as you cannot say them. That is wrong. The limitation my limitation to swing my fist ends where your nose begins, right?
You can do the whole, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you.
You can, right. Now that may be a personal space thing too, but it's generic. But what do we say? Okay, so I can swing my fist and that's fine. It's only a problem when I connect. So nobody says don't swing your fist. They say you're responsible if it connects with you, right?
But that's the intent police.
But you see, okay.
Yeah.
So Brad, look at this. No,
right.
Boom, boom.
Yep.
I'm mock punching somebody right now.
Right.
The cops are not going to show up and say, well, in the off chance that you do connect with somebody, we don't generally say that.
Right.
But we say it when it comes to the first. Don't say it on the off chance people do flee out of here.
Yeah.
What we should say is you are responsible for those words in those cases. Right?
Yeah.
When it does truly trigger something like that. The problem is, how do you then prove what really triggered somebody and what was reasonable? I just asked for extra butter, and because of that, people fled the movie theater thinking the place was on fire.
Right.
They overheard something. Well, we've determined that they misheard. Okay, then that means the responsibility's on them. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to head down that slippery slope at all.
That's true. That's the old Freudian slip line.
It's not only a Freudian slip, it's a Freudian bra and panties, too.
BoJo. Hey, I see what you did there.
Hey, this is all very stressful. All this stuff, I get it. So maybe take that extra little bit of strain and stress off of you and just save your heart. Just go to SaveYourHeart.com and do everything you can. SaveYourHeart.com or 800-77-HEART is where you can find out about the Pauling supplement, therapy supplement, that is going to help you battle any type of heart disease or even treat heart disease. So prevent or treat.
And look, life is stressful. If you got up out of bed this morning, if you listened to the radio, if you watched television, you put stress on your heart. You did. I mean, it's sad, but that's the truth. Adulting is hard. It really is, especially when you have to put on the pants every day and be responsible. But
so much work.
It really is so much work. But of course, every day you exercise and you eat exactly as you should, right? Of course not, because no one does.
Nope.
Which is why you need to do every little bit extra that you can to help save your heart. And that's where SaveYourHeart.com comes in. It helps you with especially with the pollen therapy formula. It helps you save your heart. It helps you hopefully ward off heart disease, which is one of the top
one of the top couple killers. Might be still killers. Depending on the demographic. It's the top killer.
It really is, and you don't know something's going wrong until it's almost too late.
Brad showed me a video yesterday. He sent me a video of a broadcaster in Japan on the air with another guy, and he's talking, and then finally he just slumps over.
Literally just boom on the
heart attack right on the desktop.
Yeah.
And Brad's like,
one day
it's going to be one of us. And I was like, hey, thanks a lot. Not me, buddy, because you want to know why? Because I'm saving my heart at SaveYourHeart.com. SaveYourHeart.com.
What do you mean it's let's go?
All righty, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. The end of your Daily Mojo. But before we go, as always, let's find out what we learned today. We learned if you say you can say whatever you want, but not that.
Exactly.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
We learned from Obama the future is a length of time equal to roughly 7 years.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
Roughly
that's
7.
True. That's true.
We learned if you don't let 30-year-old men have sex with your 14-year-old daughter, racist.
How's it not racist?
Exactly.
Thank you.
Finally, we learned that unallocated is a corporate word, loosely meaning suckers. Brad Staggs, what, if anything, did you learn today?
Well, I learned that to help save your heart, we're going to be discussing the auto industry at length for the rest of the week.
Jeez, you're killing me, man. You're killing me.
I also learned there will never be, ever be a news story that features me or you and a locker full of cash, or an ATM spitting out free money, or anything else that would be really cool to have happen to you.
Only if we're being arrested for that.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely true. And finally, I learned that they determined who had the phone in prison by process of elimination.
And evacuation.
You see, exactly. See what I did there?
Brad Staggs, what, if anything, did the listeners learn today?
A random smattering of what they learned from the MeWe chat room.
No.
Sue Sharametta. Wow, I think I said that right. Learned I make my kid grilled peanut butter and banana. How's that not racist?
There it is.
Backyard cows learned crunchy peanut butter on pancakes is awesome.
It is.
And not a euphemism. And Don Cheech learned white cheddar wants a piece of that action.
Nice. By the way, if Twitter is kind of a scalpel, and Facebook is kind of like an AR, something like that.
Right.
MeWe is like getting shot in the face with a nuclear device. An automatic.
It really
is. A fully automatic nuclear, like 6 or 7 warheads.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over on the Twitter shiv, Tainted Salad Sleeve learned you got to cut Tom Arnold some slack, though. All those times that Roseanne rolled over in bed, there's a good chance that he suffocated a time or two.
PTSD. And you're right, oxygen deprivation causes some problem, too.
That'll do it to you. Mojo Jedi learned who needs a weight loss product when listening to Mojo 50 talk about Tang. Taints and pitas for lunch all the time.
What's wrong with Tang?
Nothing.
I've heard it's great.
Nothing at all.
I remember trying it long ago, but long. It's been a long time.
You call it corn. Polish American Jackal learned the torta, pita, and Santa Maria. They are foundational to the discovery of America, right?
They are.
Exactly. Yep. And finally, Oklahoma Tomcat learned meat and vegetables. Lots of meat. Oops. Ring the bell.
I just realized I didn't get the new numbers on procrastination. So what I'll do is I'll do those tomorrow right off, and I have some other, and a lot less angry, Doc. That's what I'm going for. I've been pretty good recently. It got triggered today.
Yeah.
Matlock was a great show in the 80s. He will join us next as part of the Conservative Cartel.
Yes.
What does he have coming up?
He has an incredible story about this one guy.
Is that the one of love and hope and redemption?
Yeah. Listen.
Coming up next on a very special Conservative Cartel.
Oh, wait, and Urkel is a special guest.
Oh, that's going to be nice. And the incomparable Meredith Baxter Burney.
Oh, yes.
Remember, your Daily Mojo is today a Ron Phillips production. Sic Semper Tyrannis. Good night, Steve Cannon. Wherever you are. Anya, now you go home.
Very good. Very good.
The truth about Alex on a very special Conservative Cartel.
With Punky Brewster as a special guest.
About Alex? Do you remember that was a after-school special? Do you remember what?
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.